Let me just work this thing. Look up, right here on the surface. He just ate it right on the surface. I had that bluegill right there on the top. He ate it. Hey y'all, good morning. Hopefully you can see me. It's still kind of dark out here. The sun has not come up yet, and we getting an early start because we got stuff to do today. We got to get us some bait before we go catfishing. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a stretch of this shoreline right here. We're gonna throw some worms on the ultralight and try to get us some live bait. Now I do have some shad in the cooler from yesterday's trip that was left over. So we've got cut bait options. But what I really want to do today is get us some live bait. So we're going to spend a little time this morning doing that. I'm going to leave the camera rolling while I do it. We'll spend 15 minutes, 30 minutes, however long it takes to get us a bait tank full. I don't think it'll take very long going down the shoreline because we'll find something to eat a worm. But as soon as we get done with that, we're going to run out here and basically take the same path that I took yesterday, which would have been the last video for regular viewers. Caught the hell out of catfish yesterday. I mean, it was nonstop action out there. And there was numerous instances where other catfish would follow the one I was reeling in up to the surface trying to steal the bait out of its mouth. I mean, it was incredible. That happens occasionally, but I mean, it was happening numerous times yesterday. So anyhow, y'all, enough jibber jabber in here, me holding the camera. Let's jibber jabber while we make some casts. So I'll show you the setup here, how we're going to get this bait, and then we'll get to it. That's some Wangler's live red worms there from the Walmart. I'm going to grab us a worm out of here. We're going to put it on a jig head. And again, I apologize if you can't hardly see right now. This camera don't do too good at first light, these low light conditions, but we're going to roll with it because, well, we out here, by gosh. But anyhow, this is the setup, man. We got a 1/64 ounce jig head, number 8 size hook, red worm on there, of course, 2-pound line, St. Croix Panfish Series rod, and a Shimano Vanquish 1000 size reel that one of my channel members sent me. There was something splashing right there. Let's just throw right over there where that fish come up and splash. Something hit me just like that. Oh, hope he didn't just steal the worm. I'm gonna let it sink back down a little bit. I'd like to make quick work of this if possible. I think he got our worm. He got part of our worm. Call the law first thing this morning. I don't know if the police station's open yet, but you call them as soon as they open up shop for the day. You tell them we done been robbed out here on the river. First fish we come in contact with done stole from us. I want you to file a report about it. You think the police will be able to recover our worm? I doubt it. I don't think they recover much when things get stole, but nevertheless, we're going to throw over there and take our chances again. We got plenty of worms. Got a whole tub full. And I just want to get us something live. I'll tell you what happened yesterday for those of you that didn't see it. There's one. Something anyway. Bluegill, that's fine. I don't care if we get bluegill, drum, yellow bass, white bass. I could care less, man. I don't. Make no difference to me. I just want some live baits that's going to be kicking as we move along today. We'll stick him back here in the bait tank. I'll show you that here in a little bit once we get a few more fish in there and whatnot. But here's what happened yesterday. Oh, did you see that? Something come right up there where I casted. But here's what happened. I'm making my way along yesterday. I'm catfishing. I'm using cut bait, of course. And somehow or another, I got a yellow bass on the hook. I guess the piece of cut bait fluttering down there in the water column, an aggressive yellow bass comes up, eats it, gets the hook. And I've caught largemouth bass on cut bait a couple times, but that's the first time I've gotten yellow bass. There's another one. While I'm catfishing, because, you know, yellow bass are usually smaller. Their mouths are small, so them getting a hook, a catfish hook in their mouth is pretty unrealistic. But by gosh, it happened. There's that bluegill. And so He left the worm on too. We'll throw back over. So anyhow, I take that yellow bass that I miraculously hooked, stick him on the hook. Well, it wasn't long after that, boom, he gets slammed. So I pull up a fish that wasn't as big as what I thought should be to eat that big a bait, but nevertheless, the live bait wasn't down there long. Another one. There ain't nothing special here to my knowledge, folks. I just literally pulled up here to this part of the creek because we're kind of facing the sun. I thought we might have a little light. I thought we'll just work our way down this shoreline here. And we just start making casts and we're catching bluegill. Usually the shallows this time of year in the summer is loaded with bluegill, so we should catch them all the way down through here. But anyhow, a little while later, I'd catch another yellow bass somehow. So I put him on. Sure enough, something's after him. He gets eat too. So I was like, come back out today. I wanted to come back out here again because we had such a good day catfishing. But two, I wanted to spend a little bit more time this morning getting some live bait so we can offer a variety today. I still want to throw some cut bait out. So what we'll do once we get out there catfishing, we'll put on one rod with cut bait and one with live bait. And if some of these fish we put in our bait tank, if they don't survive, because I've got a little 7-gallon tank back here, it's not the best size, of course, for using a lot of live bait. You're not going to keep much alive in there, but usually these bluegill are pretty hardy. But if any of them die off, we'll certainly use them as cut bait. Or if the cut bait is just out producing the live bait today, we will. There's one. Boy, they're small right here. Let's move down this shoreline a little bit, see if we can get something a little better quality. I'd like to have some bigger baits if possible. Let me get my... Oh, you know what? My forceps are in the other kayak. They're not in my life jacket. Dadgummit. It's okay, I got it with the pliers. Yeah, let's slide down this bank a little bit. Actually, I can just probably cast over here. I've got us on spot lock right now. We'll come off this and move down a little bit here and see if we can get something better quality. We're catching some bluegill right here, and we can probably keep catching them that size, but I'd like to have something a little bigger if possible. I don't think I've ever, to my knowledge, we got another one. They're stacked over here. I don't think I have ever ultralight fished in this particular creek, so I'm not familiar with what size of fish or what species of fish we could potentially catch down through here. But right now, it's just small, so let's slide down a little bit, see if we can find something better quality. Them yellow bass yesterday were, I would guesstimate, in the 8 to 10 inch range. They were, pretty good size. They had to be to eat those big hooks. But nevertheless, they got eat quickly, and I was like, man, I really want some live baits today. So we might be making a mistake right now here at First Light, and instead of being out there trying to catfish, we're trying to catch bait instead. Maybe that's a mistake. But yesterday, we caught them. I left them biting, honestly. Even after the sun was up. Oftentimes in these summer months, you'll get that bite right at first light, sunrise, to just after sunrise. They'll really be going. And then later in the morning it goes, they'll just kind of fizzle out. But yesterday, the bite was going pretty good all the way up until I left. So I don't know if it was just something going on in the universe yesterday. Was it a moon phase, a barometric pressure thing? I don't know. Or is it just this section of the river we've stumbled into just happens to be stacked with catfish right now? And they're super aggressive and feeding. I don't know. We're going to find out. If we get on the same bite today, we'll know they're just kind of stacked in here, I guess. But the thing that got me yesterday, it wasn't that we caught a good number of fish. I mean, I've certainly done that on other trips and when the circumstances have been right. But it was just the fact that you kept having catfish follow other fish up to the surface. And there were times where there would be 2, 3, 4 fish coming up and trying to swipe at the fish that I was reeling in to get the bait out of its mouth. And again, that happens from time to time. I've got videos on my channel of fish coming up and doing that before. But it's, oh, I got hit. But when it happens, it's always a sporadic deal. Like it's not, it might happen on this trip and then it don't happen. When it does, it'll happen like one time, let's say, on this trip. And then it'll be 20 more trips before it happens again. I mean, it's just not, it's not something that happens frequently is what I'm getting at. But yesterday, I mean, it was just constantly happening. So that tells me there was a lot of fish because, I mean, think about this. If we're seeing 3 or 4 fish come up with one, how many are under that we're not seeing? You know, like how many didn't come all the way to the surface? How many are down just deep enough that we can't see down there in the water column? So, I mean, it's possible. Hell, we might have had 10 or 15 fish following that one up for all we know. We'll put us a fresh worm on there. Let's come off spot lock again and let's move on down the bank here. I keep forgetting. I've got this new kayak here. I'm in the Old Town Sportsman 120 Pro kayak, and I got that Minn Kota Tarova up there. And I've used the Motor Guide bow mount for years, and I'm still getting used to the buttons here on this thing and how this thing responds. Like when you go into spot lock or when you come off a spot lock. When you come off spot lock on this, you got to turn the prop back on and all that. And so I'm still adapting to it, folks. Give me some time here. We'll get it dialed in eventually. I do have the cord, the Ethernet cord, run from the motor to the graph, and I've been using it lately. And I found it very helpful. I like being able to follow the contours, especially when we are fishing in such a manner like we was yesterday. Or it's kind of like yesterday I was just following the contours right on the top of the drop right before it fell off to the main river channel on the edge of that flat. And that's something I do all the time. I mean, like, you know, those of you that fish with me regularly, you know, I'm always following a contour. Like I don't say I don't. I rarely, there's one. I rarely ever just troll or drift at random. I'm almost always following a break line, a contour, something. Because that's what the catfish will oftentimes follow. They will follow the edges themselves, and so I try to put myself in the best chance to succeed and put myself in a place where there's going to be catfish working through. And so that feature, being able to push a button on the graph and tell it which contour to follow and what speed, that is super helpful for how I fish. And so we've been utilizing it, utilized it yesterday, and I never had to fight the kayak one time. Once we set it, we just set it and forget it. The motor drives for us, we just reel in fish. So I'm definitely liking that. I don't know if I like the motor more than my motor guide. But here's the thing, that motor guide I've got on the other kayak, it's a few years old and they're not making them anymore. Motor Guide's out of business. So when it eventually tears up, I'm going to have to go to a different brand anyway, and I think something got our worm. It did. So anyway, we're going to have to adapt to something else regardless. So the fact that we can at least hook this motor into our graph is pretty cool. And it didn't take any, and I'm not a technical person. Hell, I couldn't operate if I had to do some fancy complicated procedure to install that thing or whatever. It just wouldn't get done. Here we go. Another one over there. They're all about the same size though. I mean, we'll use them. I sure was hoping to get some 7-8 inch range bluegill. Gotta take what the river gives you though. Oh hell, we got a damn boat coming behind us here. I guess he's just gonna get right up on our backside here. I didn't even know anybody else was out here. Tell you what, let's run down a little bit. We're catching small bluegill here anyway. I had it come off spot lock and that motor unwraps itself from the cord. That's pretty cool. Yeah, let's run down the shoreline. We got a guy on a bass boat here getting right up on us from the back. The launch I used over here, there wasn't nobody. Well, there was somebody bank fishing over here off the dock, but there wasn't nobody at the ramp, so I thought we had the place to ourselves. I guess he used a different launch. We're in his way, apparently. They ain't but a gazillion miles of shoreline out here to fish, so let's get right on top of the only other person on the water, you know. That's how it always goes. It never fails. The reservoir I'm on today, folks, it's 70 miles from dam to dam. Plus there's a couple other rivers that feed in. Plus you got all these creeks and stuff that's additional too. And it never fails. You get two people on the water and we'll both end up on top of each other somehow. Like, I don't know how it happens. I try not to be around people no more than I have to. Y'all know how I am. I'm very antisocial and introverted, but I can't help myself, and I'm not trying to socialize out here today. Unless Tits McGee goes by on a pontoon boat or wakeboard boat or something bouncing around, I really don't want to have any interaction with them. I ain't seen as many Tits McGees this year. I mostly, when I'm fishing, I'm doing these morning hours. Yeah, I'm getting out here at dawn and fishing till about 10:30 and calling it a day, beat the heat. And fortunately, there ain't many pontoon boats and ski boats and wakeboarders out at this hour. So, old Tits McGee, they sleep in this time of year. Alright, I think we got a little distance between us and them now. Let's get back over here. I don't want to spend too terribly much time doing this. Not that I don't think we can catch fish later in the morning. It's just, I want to be catfishing today. I love me some ultralight fishing. But, well, it was a terrible cast, wasn't it? Y'all made a terrible cast. I let you throw that one time, and look what you've done. I hope we catch a fish on it, though. Just so you can save face, but that was an awful cast. But I do love me some ultralight fishing. Today, I'm excited to get back out there and see what's going on with the cats. Oh, that one. There's bluegill all up and down through here. They are just tiny, tiny. We will make use of them, though. And if there is one silver lining to bluegill this size, it is that we're not going to crowd our bait tank as easily. Oh, I missed the tank. I missed the tank, y'all. Give me a second here. You had one task. Put that bluegill in the tank. Oh, look over there, folks. Well, you can't see it. The sun has come up over the tree line. I was going to show you a sunrise, but I guess we're going to miss it this morning because we got stuff to do. It ain't playtime right now, y'all. We got work to do. Okay, that might be a little smidge better one anyway. At least, even though we're only catching smalls right now, we are at least doing it quickly. Okay. Let me go ahead and turn my bubbler on there too. They might want a little oxygen. Still right back over there. Yeah, we'll give this just a few more minutes here. Catch us a few more, and then me and you will take off. What I'm going to do today, for video purposes, for the three of you that care, we're going to film this part, just rolling with it, you know, just letting the camera roll. You'll see us catching bait here. When we're done with this, Lord, I fired that thing right back at us. It's a wonder we didn't put our eye out. There we go. Let's try that again. Make a better cast this time. There you go. We'll catch one on that. But we'll leave the camera rolling for this part. When we get done with this, I'm going to turn it off to save on battery while we get where we're going. And as soon as I'm out there and ready to start catfishing, we'll turn the camera back on and we'll just leave it rolling again from that point. That way you'll see all the fishing action today. The 5 or 10 minutes it will take from us running from here out to where we're going to start, I'll just not film that, because I mean, ain't much to see. Me going from here to there. But that's the plan today, y'all. We're going to bring you on a real fishing trip. Show you the catching the bait. Well, other than our cut bait, because we do still have some shad. Quite a few shad, actually, from our trip yesterday. So we got cut bait options, we got live bait options. I like having options. I didn't bring, yesterday I had brought some chicken. I didn't bring any chicken today. We don't have that. I've been doing well on numbers on chicken. I've not done, there he is. I've not done great on quality, although quality has been tough to come by anyways lately, no matter what bait I'm using. Yesterday I did bust a couple that were at least, boy, he's got that thing deep, y'all. I need my forceps and the other kayak. Let's see if I can get it. I ain't gonna be able to get it. Dadgummit. Snip that jig off. Hopefully he'll stay alive long enough for us to use him. Let's tie this another jig on. I've got a box of them here in my life jacket I keep. But yeah, lately I've been catching a bunch of fish, but quality's been terrible. Now, yesterday we got a couple fun sizers, but the real excitement for me was toward the end of the trip when that big one followed the little fish I was reeling in up. Now, I wasn't sure if he was trying to get the bait from the little fish or if he was going to try to eat the little fish. That would have been a hell of a show, but he come up and went right back down. But I know there are some better quality fish on that area we were fishing yesterday, because by gosh, we seen it with our own eyes. Oh hell, here comes bass fisherman again. Make a couple more casts here and we'll evaluate and see if we want to move on down the shoreline a little bit and try to catch some more, get away from this guy, or if we want to just go on and take what we got and roll with it. There's another one just like that, though. Lots and lots of action on the shoreline. Ooh, that's a little red-breasted sunfish right there. Yeah, I like that. It's a good sign. Love these things. They're beautiful fish. Make a pretty bait. All right, let's do that again. Yeah, we'll reevaluate here in a second and see how many. I feel like we've got several in there. This is fun though. I mean, just catching fish on an ultralight's always fun. You can talk me into going ultralight fishing anytime. Yeah, this guy just keeps making his way along here right behind us. If I didn't hate talking on camera around people so damn much, I'd just make him go on in front of us. But I hate talking on camera around people, and then if somebody passes you up, then of course you're kind of obligated to make conversation with them, which I really don't want to do. I mean, when we're sitting here catching them one after another, I'd like to go ahead and fill our tank, because if we have a 20 or 30 fish day, I just rip that worm. Just rip that worm off. But you know what I mean? Like if we have a 20 or 30 fish day, these live baits, they're only going to get one fish. Oh, good. The bass fisherman, he's taking off. Good. All right. We're already catching breaks out here today, folks. We're catching these bluegill one after another. Bass boat decided to get the hell on. How long have we been? Oh, we've been doing this almost 30 minutes. Are you serious? It don't feel like it's been that long. Well, we're gonna have to get on the move regardless here in a minute, folks. I don't want to spend too much time doing this. Problem is I enjoy this, so time kind of gets away from me. I do enjoy, even when you're catching small bluegill like this, doing it on the ultralight, it's just fun. You're getting action. I mean, when you go fishing, that's the goal, right? Catch fish. Everybody says, well, it's called fishing, not catching. Well, hell, I like to do catching personally. It don't always work out, but that's what I try to do. I just keep tearing that dang worm. There we go. I mean, that's what I'm trying to do. I want to catch fish. I want to get as many as possible and as big as possible. And when you've got a appropriate size tackle for the size of fish you're catching, anything can be fun. This one here is going to be a smidge bigger. He can actually pull a little drag on my ultralight. I do love the sound of the drag on this reel. Oh, that's a better one right there. Finally, y'all. Finally. This is what I was hoping to get. This size right here. This is what I wanted a bait tank full of. Okay. Just another worm. There we go. But yeah, you match the size of your tackle to the fish that are there, and you can have a damn good time. Like even the small catfish that we've caught lately, using the lighter tackle catfish rods, they're fun. You can enjoy them. Oftentimes I think people are so fearful of losing, and I'm guilty of this too, but you're so fearful of losing that fish of a lifetime that you use tackle that's way too big, way too heavy for the overwhelming majority of the fish that you catch. And it takes away from the normal everyday fishing experience. Now, yes, if the day comes when I hook that 100-pound triple-digit class fish and it happens on light tackle rods and I end up losing it, well, maybe I'll rethink what I've done. But that's a once-in-a-lifetime potential, and it may never even happen. What about all the other trips? You're sacrificing fun on those for something that, well, honestly, it may just never happen. The day may never come that I hook into that triple-digit fish. Most people don't. That's why it's a fish of a lifetime. That's why state records on these fish oftentimes last for decades. It's hard to do. It ain't hard to catch these bluegill, though, is it? We've caught the heck out of them. I think he got most of our worm. Let's do one more worm, folks. One more worm, and then we're out of here. And it's catfish time. I could have brought the cast net today and maybe got us some live shad. But the problem is, as hot as it is, Water temps yesterday was like 87 degrees. And it's going to be hot as blazes today. It's supposed to be like 90. And there's a little haze in this morning, but it ain't cloudy though. Once this haze burns off, the temperature's going to soar out here today. Them shad, I know, they're going to bake in that bait tank. And you can't pack very many in there anyway. Oh, he hit it as soon as he hit the water. So I was like, let me get something hardier. We'll beat the banks here, try to get some bluegill, or if we get lucky, something else like a drum or yellow bass, white bass, something that's going to tolerate worse water conditions. Okay, we still got a little bit of that worm on. Let's make another cast and then we out of here. One more. Who wants to be the final bluegill? Any takers? One's hitting it. We got a taker. We got us one here, folks. We ready to roll now. Let's me and you put him in the tank. We got a little bit of that worm on, but I'm gonna throw it off there because I'm ready to roll. All right, let me dry my hands. You all admire what's left of the sunrise over there as it pops up. It's done being over them trees. We done missed the best part of it, folks. I apologize. A better fishing partner would have let you watch the sunrise and caught some bait at the same time, but you're stuck with me, so this is what we get. Let's turn our graph on. Okay, folks, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna run us right out here. This section of the river, you've got the shoreline. Once we come out of this creek, you've got a shoreline, a little bit of a drop, a deeper flat, 25 feet-ish, give or take, and then it drops off to the river channel down to about 50 feet. We're going to work the edge of that flat, right on the top edge that we'll follow. The depth will change a little bit from 22, 25 feet, etc. But, I mean, it's pretty consistent through there all the way. But we're just going to work that edge, and we're going to take a big, long stretch of it, work a mile and a half of it today and see what we run into. So, again, I'm going to turn the camera off till we get over there and we start to get bait up. I'll turn it on again. All right, are we finally ready to catch some catfish? I know you are, because I sure as heck am. So let's get us set up here. I'm going to show you this fancy graph we've got everything rigged up on. I'm going to push this cursor button, and I'm just going to pick us a contour here. We'll hit this button over here. Brings up a menu. We'll hit follow. Contour. We want to go orange, go up river today. Ain't no current out here, so we can go whatever direction we want. But yesterday I was working up toward those next two creeks, and that's where we were getting all the action. So that's where we're going to go. So let's go back to our motor. We'll put on cruise control, and it's still set at 0.4 from yesterday. How about that? Okay, so now this thing's just going to drive for us. All fancy technology here. Now, I was saying earlier, I think I got interrupted there maybe, but setting that up, man, as soon as you plug that cord from the motor into the graph, it's connected. Like there ain't no, I didn't have to download nothing or install anything. Like it was pretty simple and easy, thank goodness, because I sure as hell wouldn't have figured it out otherwise. Now, I did have to watch a YouTube video to learn how to do this crap. There's probably a bunch more stuff this graph can do that I ain't figured out. Probably never will figure out. All right. We got our rigs here ready to go. Let's grab, I'll tell you what, let's do. Let's start with a live bait and a cut bait combo and see which outperforms which. So, set our bluegill down there for a second. I just grabbed one at random. This is lucky number 1. He said he don't feel very lucky right now. He says he's about to get a hook. He's about to get a hook through, let's go through the nose on him. Got him a nose piercing right there, folks. I don't know if nose piercings are as popular now as what they were a few years ago. I feel like a few years ago, anytime you'd walk into a restaurant, your waitress was going to have a nose ring, or you'd go through a drive-through fast food place and you'd end up having a person there at the window with a nose ring, but I don't see that anymore. I guess that fad has kind of went out, and now everybody's got hardware in their nose that they maybe regret. I guess you can take it out, but the hole will probably still be there. So this is a gizzard shad, and we're just going to take a head here. And you can see this how much we got left. Like we got plenty of shad left, various sizes in there. So we are going to put a head bait on to start. The next one we'll put a body section. We'll see if they show a preference over what kind of cut or anything. Yesterday it didn't matter. If it was down there, they were getting gobbled up. So we're going to drop this straight down to the bottom. We're 24 feet deep right now. We've got our speed set on 0.4. Water temp looks like 86.8 degrees. Air temp is, I don't know what right now. It's humid at the moment, but going to get significantly hotter today. It's supposed to be about 90 and tropical. So we'll get our hands dried off here. So again, folks, what I'm going to do, of course, we filmed our bait session there, left the camera rolling. Now that we're out here, and I put in over here at this creek, we fished that shoreline over there, and I just ran straight out here to get us started catfishing. So from this point, we'll leave the camera rolling too. And oh, maybe that's just the bluegill kicking. Rod tip bounced a little bit. I didn't know if it was a fish getting after him or may have just been him kicking a little bit. But anyway, from this point, we'll just leave the camera rolling. I'm going to put you here in a chest, bring you on a real fishing trip. You're going to see everything from now until we roll out. And hot as it's going to be today, we're going to fish for 2 or 3 hours, somewhere in that range from this point on, and probably be out of here by about 10 o'clock. It's 7:20 right now, so going to be a short trip today. Me and you will catch us some fish, have us some fun, and take it home to the air condition. But in the meantime, we're going to sit out here, talk about life, tell some stories, maybe solve some of the world's problems. Yesterday, I solved the education system in America. I feel very confident in my abilities to do so. I don't know if the politicians will ever enact what I suggested, but it sure would clear up a lot of traffic on the roads. Because once again this morning, I'm driving out here. And of course, I had to leave my house about 5:15. And normally during the school year, 5:15, there wouldn't be as much traffic on the roads, but you would still see a bunch of cars. Today, I hardly seen anybody until I got on the interstate. It was great. But as soon as the school year starts back, traffic's going to be a mess again. And it's like, let's fix that. Let's just make sure there's not as many kids in school, because kids go to school way too long as it is. And they for damn sure don't need to be getting up so early. I mean, when I was a kid, man, if school had been from instead of 7 to 3, if it had been from 9 to 5 or something, it would have been so much better to sleep in those extra couple hours. I'm more of a morning person nowadays than I used to be, but as a kid, I sure as hell wasn't. So there's a lot of changes could be made, but nobody gives a damn about that. I'll tell you another change that needs to be made too while we're solving the world's problems, waiting on this first fish. It's a problem with the cops. And I know I got some police officers and state troopers and whatnot that watch my videos. Lord knows game wardens certainly watch me too. I've been reported so many times. I'm sure they watch every move I make. Still waiting on them tickets I'm supposed to get and being arrested and all for using legal bait. People give me so much hell about using crappie and bass and stuff for bait, but it's perfectly legal where I'm doing it at. But anyway, yesterday I finished up fishing here. I'm going down the road. Of course, I stop off at the Walmart I passed just to see if there's any wrestling figures I can't live without. And I didn't see any new wrestlers there. Still trying to find Superstars Series 17. And I'm still looking for Dusty Rhodes and Jesse the Body Ventura from Series 18. But in the Walmart, they did have a clearance sale going on for the Masters of the Universe Movies Chronicles figures. And I I wasn't going to collect those, but if they get marked down a little more, I'm probably going to get in on those too. They're good looking figures. I just don't have space for them, and I'm already collecting the core line and the Origins line, so I can't do Chronicles too, but I mean, if they get clearance that hard, I'm going to have to probably. But anyhow, I'll leave Walmart, heading up the road, get on the interstate. And I'm going around, I mean, we're going 70 plus because it's interstate, and you start to go around a bend, and all of a sudden everything's just at a complete standstill. And I lay on the brakes, of course, and I've got plenty enough time to stop between the distance between me and the person in front of me. But I mean, we literally came to a complete stop. But I'm watching this big semi behind me, like laying on the brakes, and I'm like, holy cow, I'm about to get just slammed rear-ended here, you know? Because I mean, we're moving along normal interstate flow, 70 plus, and you kind of go around a curve, and boom, it's dead stop. And, you know, around the curve like that, you can't, especially if somebody ain't paying attention, they're going at a high rate of speed, or if you've got a tractor trailer with a heavy load, like it's hard to stop in that quickly, especially when you're not expecting it. I mean, you're going from 70 plus to 0. So thankfully, a crisis averted. I didn't get rear-ended and whatnot, but we're making our way on up. Traffic starts moving again, and you get on up there a little ways, and you see what has caused the slowdown. It wasn't a wreck. It wasn't road construction. It wasn't some object that had fallen across the interstate, a tree come across it, or rock slide, anything like that. No. You want to know what caused the backup? A damn cop. A cop had somebody pulled over, I guess giving them a speeding ticket or something. You know, them cops are, they gotta fund their raises and Christmas parties and all, and give them everybody speeding tickets. But he's got somebody pulled over on the side of the road, so you know what happens. A cop's got somebody pulled over, blue lights going. Everybody starts laying on the brakes. And the first few people that lay on the brakes, not a big deal. It's a minor slowdown. But once 20 cars deep have had to lay on the brakes, well, people are having to lay on the brakes a little harder and a little harder and a little harder. And eventually you get back to where I was. You're coming to a complete stop. And the way it was going around that curve, you barely had any time to react. So it's like, this damn cop, in an effort to fund his raise this year, is about to cause a 50-car pileup on the damn interstate. And you might say, well, Justin, you're being dramatic. No wreck happened, at least to my knowledge anyway. I don't know what happened behind me, but like, you know, no wreck happened. The guy probably was speeding, probably deserved a ticket. And you're correct. You know, to my knowledge, no wreck happened. The guy probably, I'm sure the cop didn't pull him over for no reason, you know. I'm sure he deserved whatever ticket he got. But I'll give you a scenario. And this happens on... there's been news stories about this. So my exit where I live has seen a huge number of wrecks. There's like a 2 or 3 mile stretch of interstate with my exit right in the middle of it that has had just an overwhelming number of accidents, to the point that they're doing a study about it currently. Tennessee Department of Transportation is doing a study to try to figure out what the hell is causing so many people to wreck in this one stretch of road. And this particular stretch of road, it's straight. There's no curves, there's no hills, there's no reason, there's no blind spots. There's no reason for all these wrecks to be happening on a straight section of interstate. But I mean, there's wrecks there every day. So they're spending God knows how much of our tax dollars to try to determine the cause of these wrecks. Meanwhile, your boy here, I don't have a degree and engineering science or road science or whatever the hell you have to work on the roads. I'm not a road superintendent. But I do have what's called common sense. And I've driven a lot of miles in my life. My travel nursing days, I mean, I've logged a lot of miles on a vehicle. I'm not a professional driver by any stretch, but I've logged enough miles. I've seen how stuff happens on the road. I know how this goes. And here's the thing, you don't have to be some scientist or engineer to figure out what's causing this if you just got just a hint, not even full-blown common sense, just a hint of common sense. Here's what's happening. Oh, here's what's happening right here. We got a fish. Oh, something hit him. He's moaned him again. There he goes. Now he got him. We got catfish number one. Catfish number one a few minutes in after baiting up. For those of you that fast forwarded and didn't see what we were doing, we were catching some bluegill on the shoreline over there in this creek. And now we've come out. I've got a cut bait on one rod and a live bluegill on the other. And you know what the problem right now is? I can't remember which is which. I can't remember which rod I had which bait on. Y'all know my memory ain't worth a damn. I don't see any fish following him up. I hope he's still got the bait in his mouth because I need to see. I guess we'll have to reel the other one up so I know what's on. He's thrown it all for eat at one. Let's go ahead and net him and bring him in. Number one, y'all. Technically not number one fish of the day since we got all them bluegill for bait, but you know what I mean. Number one fish that we're targeting. Give me that hook, sir. Sir, give me that hook. Thank you. Much obliged. All right, long, skinny dink, but it's catfish. That is the target species. Give me a second here, y'all. I've lost my damn mind. I can't remember. That's our live bluegill there. Okay. Live bluegill on the right. We had cut bait on the left. Don't y'all forget that again now. I don't want to have to reel that bait up again. I can't believe I forgot that in just a few minutes, but boy, I did. I'm losing my mind, y'all. Okay. Let's find that shad we cut, and we'll just take the body piece of him now. Put it on this other rod. So cut bait 1, live bait 0. Wouldn't that be some doo-doo if we spent all that time getting the live baits and don't end up catching anything on them today? It wouldn't be the first time fish have made me look stupid, but I really wanted to try the live baits today after how them yellow bass got attacked yesterday. Every day's different though. You can think you've unlocked the cheat code and then you go out the next day and things have completely changed. Fish are gone. Weather change, maybe you got them shut down. We ain't had no weather change from yesterday to today. Just hot and miserable summer conditions. Okay, get that down there. I'm suspending these baits. Did I tell you about the rigs and all that? Here, let me reel this up and show you. I can't remember if I done that either. Here's our catfish rigs though. These are number 1 size shiner hooks, little Kale style hook, 15-pound leader, swivel, 2-ounce egg sinker, 15-pound braid, Catfish Sumo light action rods, and Daiwa BG 4000 reels. That may be a rerun because I can't remember if I told you that or not. Y'all are seeing my mental lapses here live and in person. So anyway, back to the story now that we got that bait reset. So I figured out what the hell's causing all these wrecks on the stretch of road by my house. It's the cops, folks. It's the cops. Here's what happens. Them cops sit out there every day writing people speeding tickets. And funny thing about the news report, the local police said they're going to put more people out there. They're going to put more cops out there so they can help with this study, try to figure out what's causing these wrecks. When it's the damn cops that's causing it. Because every time they pull somebody over, everybody driving by lays on the brakes. So, cop gets them a speeder. He's got them tied up over there for 10 minutes. You know, them cops, anytime they write you a speeding ticket, they take their sweet ass time. Make you sit there all day. If you're in a hurry to get somewhere, if that's why you're speeding, they're going to make sure you're late. So, the cops got somebody pulled over for 10 minutes. Everybody that drives by during that 10 minutes is laying on the brakes, and then you get 20, 50 cars back that's late on the brakes. Now you're going from 70 to 0, and somebody's going to be on their phone, not paying attention, and rear end somebody. That's what's causing the wrecks. It's the damn cops. So, you don't need no gazillion-dollar study. You don't need to be an engineer or scientist to figure it out. Common sense. What's causing everybody to lay on the brakes and come to a complete stop, which then causes people to get rear-ended? What's causing the slowdown? It's the cops every single time. It's not people are going around a hill. It's not people are going around a curve. No, it's the cops. This is a long, straight stretch of interstate. It's straight and it's flat. It's not an area that gets heavy fog. These wrecks aren't happening on days where it's pouring down rain. They just happen every damn day. And because cops are out there every damn day writing people tickets. So, the cops are the problem. And I know that ain't popular to say. I got some cops that watch my videos. And I'm not against the cops. I'm really not. I don't like them. I can only think of maybe one or two cops I've ever met in my life that I liked. Most of them are cocky and arrogant assholes, and I guess you have to be to do that job. I mean, the type of people you're interacting with, they're risking their lives every day. They leave their house to go to work. Like, I get it. If I was a cop, which I wouldn't be, but if I was, I'd probably have the same attitude they do. But they're the source of the problem. They are the cause of this. So here's a thought. Can we just keep the cops off the interstate? Are people going to speed on the interstate? Sure. But, you know, right now, our speed limit for most of the interstate here is 70 miles an hour. Now, there'll be some exceptions. Some places it might go to 65. If there's construction, it might be a 55 type deal. And that's fine. Look, if you got road construction going on, you got workers out there on the side of the highway, by all means, lower the speed limit. But some of these areas are just, they're speed traps. Like up in Knoxville, they changed this a few years ago. But you used to go from 70 to 55 and then back up to 70. You had a few mile stretch where it was 55 miles an hour. And it was just a speed trap. They would set up there and write tickets all day long. And they would get their quota every damn day from speeders. And a lot of it was just people that didn't know. They didn't know. You're going from 70 down to 55. So if you're not familiar with the area and know that that particular stretch was a speed trap, you're going to get busted. And they were counting on that. Which should be a crime in itself. Setting up speed traps to purposely get people like that when there's no cause for it. Like, show me the proof that going a higher speed than 55 miles an hour on that particular stretch was going to cause more wrecks or cause more injuries. You can't show me the proof because it don't exist. There is no such thing for that one area. And again, there was nothing special about it. There were no curves, no hills, no nothing. It just, for some random reason, the interstate went from 70 to 55 for like a 2 or 3 mile stretch. And it was a speed trap. So I don't believe that going from a speed limit out here on the interstate that's 65 or 70 raising that up to say 80 or 85, are you going to cause significantly more wrecks? I mean, sure, higher rate of speed, maybe there's a few. Oh, there goes our bluegill. There goes our bluegill. Oh, that's a better fish. That's a better, oh my God, he come free. That was a better one. He had him. Boy, the bluegill still looks pretty good to have gotten slammed like that. Is he going to wiggle at all, or do we need to replace him? Let's replace him with something more lively. He got crushed, man. He got absolutely smoked. That was a good fish, and y'all lost him somehow. He ain't even marked up, though, is the thing. He ain't missing those scales, but y'all saw it. I'm not manipulating the footage here. This is uncut footage. We're not doing any editing. Oh, I should have put him in my bag for cut bait. Well, too late. Let's grab us another live one here. I can get hold of one. There we go. Okay. Let's hook this. Oh, dip. Come here now. Scupper plugs out of the way. Let's just hook him. We had the other one through the nose. Let's do this one through the back. Just like that. Dadgummit, I can't believe we all lost that fish. I shouldn't have let you reel that in. You done botched it. First one on the live bait. Felt like a good one. Loosen our drag just a smidge. Make it easier to get that rod out of the rod holder when it hits. But yeah, back to the cops, man. I don't believe going and changing the interstate speed limit from 70 to 80 or 85 would cause that many more wrecks or that many more injuries. And if you're willing to raise it up a little more, then traffic can just flow and take the cops off the interstate so people can get where they're going faster. Take the cops off there. You're not going to have these unnecessary times where people are slamming on the brakes, rubbernecking, you know. And it ain't people's fault. Like, you're supposed to slow down. It's a rule. In Tennessee, it's a law. If a cop has somebody pulled over, you're supposed to slow down and get into the other lane to give them space. So if anybody's in the most danger, it's the cops themselves when they pull somebody over and they got to get out on the side of the interstate. There's been people get killed doing that. So just eliminate it. They're not going to do that. You know why? Because they want that money. That's all state troopers do in Tennessee is write tickets. You never see a state trooper do anything anywhere except sit on the side of the interstate and write speeding tickets. Imagine that. I mean, you grow up, your kid growing up, all you want to do is be a police officer. You want to be a cop. That's your lifelong dream. And you become a state trooper. You get the fancy uniforms and the little mountie hat. Got your badge and your gun, you're big shot. And now your life's work is just writing speeding tickets every day. Just sticking it to the common man who was going 5 or 10 miles over with the flow of the traffic on the interstate. Then sure, man, if somebody's driving reckless, they're out there going 150 miles an hour and weaving in and out of traffic. Yeah, absolutely. They pull them over, write them a ticket, take them to jail, whatever. The average common person that's doing 75 or 80 in a 70, who cares? If the interstate's flowing and they're not causing any harm, they're not causing any danger because everybody's going that speed, who freaking cares, man? Other than the cops. The cops care because you're funding their salaries. You get in their new vehicles and these cameras that monitor our every move. There's been a lot of pushback on these cameras now that I guess they got the facial recognition and all that now. I heard about these cameras a couple years ago. My cop friend, believe it or not, I have a friend who is a cop. Even though, and again, first off, let me say, I am not against the concept of police. We need them. They should totally part of our tax dollars should absolutely go to support the police. Police force is needed, 100%. The problem is the cops that we have are oftentimes, I don't think, qualified for the job, or they abuse their power that they have and authority, and the police resources are used on things that are a waste for normal tax-paying citizens. That's the problem. The police force themselves are not the problem. It's the people in the police force and how the police force is used. That's the issue. But anyway, I do have a cop friend up in Ohio. He's got a YouTube channel, by the way, Fins and Talons. I fish the tournaments against him. He's been a cop up there for his entire adult life, forever. And I was up there in Ohio for a tournament a couple years back now, I guess it's been. And I was talking to him. He was out on the beat and swung by over there where I was staying. And I sat out there and talked with him while he's waiting on calls. And he was telling me about their camera system they have up there in Ohio. So and here's what they were using it for at the time, but you know damn well it's been used for other stuff too. And by the way, where did these clouds come from? I thought we just had a haze, but them clouds right there have kind of rolled in and blocking the sun, and I hope it stays like that. It'll help keep things a little bit more tolerable in the temp out here for a little longer this morning. Oh, there was a big splash right there beside us. I think it was a paddlefish. All right, back to I'm like a damn squirrel. I get distracted. Or a dog when you see squirrel. So I'm up here talking to Brandon. He's telling me about their cameras. So they've got cameras in the street lights and power poles and stuff, electric poles, that monitor people's license plate tags. And so let's say a car gets reported stolen. Their license plate tag goes into the system, and when one of those cameras spots the license plate tag, the cops get notified, hey, this stolen vehicle's wherever the location is that they're at. And from that aspect, that is a good thing, right? Like if it's used specifically for that, and you can recover stolen property, well, great. That is a good feature. That is something that is a benefit to society. But here's where it goes wrong. This is where it goes off the rails, and this is where people are pushing back on this. When you've got these cameras that are, at this point, not only capturing people's license plate tags, but they're also capturing faces, facial recognition, identifying people. What we are all under at this point is a surveillance state. We are being, and listen, these cameras, think about this. Hell, 10 years ago on Facebook, social media, if a friend of yours posted a picture with you in it, the algorithm, the software they had, could identify you as the person in the picture, even though you weren't tagged. Think about how far we're about to think about a fish coming over here. Oh, he dropped it. Something got after it, though. But that was 10 years ago that Facebook's technology was good enough to, now our live bait got thumped. Oh, this one got hit. They're both getting hit. We got one on that left rod. One of y'all grab that left rod over there. We got a double. Our live bait got hit and our cut bait. We're doubled up here, y'all. That's a... Oh, he's got friends. He's got friends. There was one came with him. Let's set him back in the rod holder. One of his friends is on this rod. That happened yesterday, y'all. That happened yesterday. We would reel up one, and several more would come trying to get the bait. Oh, he's got one too. He's got two with him. He's got two with him over here. Look at it, look at it. Let me stand up. There he is. He's right there at the surface. There's another one right there by him. They're trying to get the bait out of his mouth. Oh. They're still right here, man. Still right there. I was trying to do this yesterday. We're going to try it again today. He's still right here after it, man. Here's what I tried to do yesterday and was unable to do so successfully. I wanted to have one of the baits higher up in the water column so that when other fish like that came up, we could just drop a bait down to them and try to catch them with just a few feet of line out. I thought that would be just incredible. And we're going to try to do that at some point today when this kind of thing happens. Can't do it right now, obviously, because of the double. When the other rod's got a fish on it, we can't just reel it up to... Let's let him go. Get him out of here. Nice little eater size right there. But yeah, when the other rod's got a fish on it, we can't do it. But when it happens and the other rod don't have a fish on it, we're going to try to drop it down and sight cast the one, basically. That's what I'm trying to get at. This one here got hooked up under the lip. I bet he knocked that bait off and one of his friends ate it down there. Boy, I can already get that thing out. You go think about what you've done, Blue Cat. You get down there and think about it. You made a terrible mistake getting that hook up under the chin like that. Okay. Let's grab our shad here. All right, folks, maybe we're getting on them again. That was a school of them we just went through. I like going through a school of cats, even like that. When they're small, you get several of them. You're getting doubles. It makes it fun. And again, this tackle, man, we're using lighter action rods. So fish like that, even though they're small, they're still enjoyable to catch on the lighter gear. I hope we bust a monster today. I'd like to catch a whopper. And that one we saw toward the end of the trip yesterday that came up was a whopper. But I just want to get some action, man, and I for sure want to try to bust one right here at the surface. Yesterday, for part of the trip, I was leaving the bait kind of just under the surface here. That way, if it happened, I would have it ready to go. I could just grab the rod and just kind of dip it in the water, right? But it's like that old saying, the watch pot don't boil. When I had that rod up there, we wasn't having fish following them up. It just wasn't panning out for us. Kind of like me trying to grab a bluegill in this tank. It ain't panning out. Set him down there a second. Let me switch hands. I had a hard time getting hold of one. Okay. I'm going to run this one through the back too. Make sure them scales off the hook point. All right. Back down it goes. But yeah, so I don't want to necessarily leave one like right under the surface today, because then we'll guarantee it won't happen. But if we find ourselves in a situation like that where you got 2 or 3 fish coming up with another one, and our other rod hasn't gotten hit, we'll reel it up real fast and try to just drop it down. At some point in time, we're going to sight cast one of them damn things. It's going to happen, y'all. I wanted it to happen yesterday, but I feel like today's maybe the day. Yeah, buddy, let's just leave let's go ahead and put it back on ice. Because even though it's cloudy right now, it is still hot. I mean, hell, just the damn surface temps. That surface temperature says 87.5 degrees. That's hot water, y'all. 22 feet deep here at the moment. I've just been catching these fish higher up in the water column lately. The deeper bite, which is what I would typically be doing in these summer months, I'd be off this drop. We're on the top right now and it drops off. I would normally be fishing down here on the bottom, but this year they just ain't panning out. And I think it's a thermocline situation. We've had such hot water and such a limited current. I think we got a thermocline that's set up on at least the lower half of the reservoir, and it's putting fish higher. They're either suspending up over that thermocline out on deeper water, or they're like up on these flats that are, 20 something feet here. Okay, something's after our cut bait. It got nipped. But yeah, back to the story of the cops. So nowadays, these cameras, they're not just monitoring your license plate tag. They can monitor your face and individuals. We are under a mass surveillance state right now. And for the average common person like myself, it's not really a big deal, I guess, because I'm not doing criminal behavior. I'm not trying to hide anything. I'm not doing anything that I would need to hide anything. But boy, it's a slippery slope to give somebody that kind of power to just be able to follow any individual. Because even though you might not be a criminal yourself, and you might think, well, gosh, if this will help. Okay, he got it now. Cut bait. Get that rod ready over there, y'all. If this fish brings up some friends with him, I want you to reel that thing up and drop it down to him. What do we got? Anything? I'm not seeing any. No, this one's just an individual. He ain't got no friends. This one here, he's got the gingivitis or something, like Airplane Man flying over us up there, disrupting the audio on the video. This fish is, nobody wants to be around him. He said his breath stinks way too bad to be hanging out with this fish. Now we got the hook in the line, or in the net. There we go, another old eater. That out of the way, grab us another bait. Now here's where I'm going with this. If this technology is used how it's supposed to be, that's a big if, or you're only using it if you're looking for, say, a criminal, somebody who's committed a crime, or a stolen vehicle, or using it for good, basically, then great. Then it's a valuable service to society. But that's fantasy world, folks. I live in the real world, along with the rest of you, and we know how people are. We know human nature. If you give people an inch, they're going to take a mile every time. So what I'm getting at that is, like, if you give people a little bit of power, they're going to want more power, and they're going to use it for stuff that it's not intended to do. So imagine You get some power-hungry cop, sociopath type person. There's a lot of them in the police force. You've seen all kinds of documentaries about it on the Netflix. These cops that get some girlfriend and she tries to leave and he's super jealous and he ends up stalking her and stuff. Like, I mean, my God, how many true crime documentaries are there out there about that same situation? The Lifetime movie channel, my wife watches some of them movies sometimes. Hell, they'd be out of business. They wouldn't have any plots to their stories, to their movies, if it wasn't for cops abusing power. So you have all this technology where you can monitor anybody, anywhere, anytime. And you get some cop that maybe gets obsessed with a woman or wants to see what his ex-wife is up to or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, that stuff is going to be abused. It's going to be, whoever has access to it, they're going to look it up. They're going to use it. So, in theory, if we lived in a perfect world and this would only be used to stop or prevent criminal behavior, great. And that's what the politicians will sell you on to get this stuff enacted. But in reality, we all know where it goes from here. And then, once you've got everybody, imagine this, folks. Hell, we got satellites up in outer space that can zoom in. I can get on Google right now, Google Earth, and I can pull up my house. I can see my house from a satellite in space. Is that not incredible? And so now you're bringing that camera technology not gazillions of miles away in outer space. Hell no, it's right on a power pole, on a stop sign, right here, 20 feet from your vehicle or something. They can see everything. They know your every move. I'm not saying there ever would be a rebellion in this country, but boy, if there needed to be, I'm not suggesting there does need to be, but if there was, you'd never be able to organize it, because it ain't like how when something hit our cut bait, and he dropped it. Is he back on it? My line don't look right. It's kind of at an angle. Okay, there. Oh, he still didn't get it. No, he got that one. Nope. Oh, no, he's got this one. We're getting hit. We're getting hit on both rods. This one hit it like 3 times before he finally got it. I think our bluegill, he escaped somehow. Any friends with him? Nope. No, this is another one. Nobody wants to be around. Oh, he does have a friend too. He does. Right there's one. Oh, there's a bigger one. There's a bigger one right there. There's 3 or 4 of them right there. Get your bluegill, folks. Get your bluegill. Get this thing up here. Get him up here. Get him up here. Come on. Oh, he's foul hooked. That's why he didn't get eaten. Here, get him. Get him unhooked here, folks. Here. Let's just dangle that there. I still see another one around. Oh, he got it. He got it. There's a bigger one too. It happened. It happened. I knew it would. I knew it would. Oh, did he just come off? He just come off. He just come off right there. How'd he come off? Let's do it again. I still see a bigger one swimming around like a damn shark in the water, man. Let me just work this thing. Look up right here on the surface. He just ate it right on the surface. I had that bluegill right there on the top. He ate it. we done it. We got a catfish eat a daggone topwater. Oh man, that's awesome. He ate it right there on the dang surface, y'all. I wanted to do that so bad yesterday. And here we finally done it today. That's awesome. Man, oh man, you talk about an adrenaline rush right there. Has he got any? Oh, there's still more around too. There's more of them around. Let's set him back in the rod holder. Let's get our little one over here unhooked. He'll be quicker to unhook, and we'll stick another bait on. Let's get him going as quick as we can and try to do that again. That was incredible, y'all. That was freaking amazing, man. Oh man, let's get him unhooked. Come on. Get that hook out of there, buddy. Thank you for bringing your friends to the party. You are the life of the party, that's for sure. You've definitely made my day. Let's here. Grab you get you a bluegill out of here or something. Get you a bluegill on. I hope they're still around. You think they are? I don't know if they are or not. Okay. Let's got that bluegill just kicking right there. Let's see if he'll conjure anything up. I've got him right there under the surface. Oh, I ain't seeing nothing. Dang, man. I think they're gone. Tell you what, let's send him. Well, it's a good thing. Here, I done got him foul hook. I put him on in such a rush. Let me go through the nose on him. Let's send him down and get our other one undone here. That was incredible, y'all. Oh, that was a rush. I had hoped to do that, and we made it happen. This one here is actually a little better quality fish too. Come over here, I'll steer you into the net. A little smaller fun sizer here. You could probably get some front camera time, I suppose. He had at least one bigger friend with him. I'm not sure if it was the same fish I was seeing or a different one or what, but it was definitely a bigger one that was in the mix. Give me a hook back. Here, put your front camera mount up here, folks. Okay. Now, there we are. Hit this button there on the screen. Let's hold him up. Not a small fun sizer. Larger dink maybe. It's a real skinny fish, but still. It was awesome watching him eat that bait right there on the surface. I'm gonna fist pump that one, by gosh. That was awesome. If y'all's a better fishing partner though, you done have this bait on this hook and rebaited ready to go. I can't count on y'all for nothing. If you'd brought bait with you out here this morning too, we'd been ready to go. As soon as we got on water, we wouldn't have had to get no live baits. Okay. All right, y'all. Again, that was fun, man. I'm digging that. I guess, you know what would have been smart? I don't know why you didn't think of this earlier. We should have just brought a third rod with us. That way we could have two in the water at all times and have another one baited and ready to go. We might not even need, honestly, bait at all. We might just needed an artificial something to put over there that looked like a bait, and they might have snatched it up because they were so desperate to get anything. Look at all of them right there on the screen. I got the down imaging on here on this graph, so let's drop the shad head down. Man, that was fun, y'all. What a rush. Man. All right, we got both baits out. There's something down there. I don't know if that's catfish. It could be some form of, I have no idea. I'm not good enough at this hummingbird graph to know what's what on there. But I know there's something down there. It's either something we want to catch or bait for something we want to catch. So there ought to be something nearby. We ain't getting the action yet that we got yesterday, but yesterday did start out kind of, I won't say it was slow yesterday, but I mean, we were getting a fish here, fish there, and then we went through a stretch where it was just boom, 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 boom. And it stayed pretty consistent after that for the rest of the morning. It started to tail off a little bit toward the end of the session, but I was still catching fish. Still catching them the whole way down through here. All right. Live bluegill on the right, shad head on the left. Motor here continues to drive for us. One of these rods gets hit, we'll reel the other one up real fast and drop it down for the fish that are with it, if fish do come up with it. That's going to be the plan, man. Something's after this left rod over here already. The thing that'll screw us is if we get a double. And normally I'd be happy to get a double, but today I just want I want to reel up one at a time so we have an opportunity to replicate that topwater action. He's after that thing. It's probably one of them things we're seeing on the screen right there. Just keeps getting nipped. They're just chewing that bait up. And it ain't that big a bait either. That particular shad head wasn't very big. Now, maybe jinxing us by leaving our bag of shad out. Thought we'll leave it handy in case we really get on them here and need it, but anyway, where was that? Oh, both of them got hit. Here goes this one. Here goes this one. Oh, he come free. Oh, he just hit it again while it was in my hand. He hit it again. I felt him hit it. There goes our other one. He's on too. We're doubled. I think he might have come off though. Look at that pile of fish there on the screen. I have no idea if those are cats. We'll know here in a minute. We'll know here in a minute, folks. Has he got a bunch of friends with him? He does not. At least I don't see him as of yet. I think that one on the right is a smaller fish. Let's go ahead and land this one and drop a bait down. Oh, quit splashing me, fish. Let's go ahead and get this one landed, drop another bait down, and then we'll work on that one over there that's clearly a smaller fish. Open up. Open up, sir. Oh, no. Oh, man, this is one that ate it real deep. Well, crap. All right. Well, sorry about your luck, fish. I hate that. I hate that, buddy. I had to cut that one off. It was way too deep. He was gut hooked. Well, poo-poo. That's going to slow us down a second. It happens, unfortunately. Been happening fairly regularly with the chicken. Did he come off? Look at here. Look at here. That's a dang yellow bass on our hook. He got after our bluegill? I mean, it was a smaller bluegill, but still. I swear, folks, if this camera wasn't rolling nonstop, nobody would freaking believe it. Nobody would believe it for 1 second. But you know what? This happened twice yesterday. Let's just send him down. He can down. We'll have a bigger live bait on this one. I can't believe that happened again. I mean, twice yesterday I got. Now, both times yesterday, of course, it was on the cut bait. But yeah, dang yellow bass. And I love catching me some yellow bass. But that's crazy that yellow bass would have went after that bluegill and somehow managed to get the hook. All right, well, that's a pretty big bait. So hopefully that will get us a better quality catfish. I would have liked to have had a whole bait tank full of live baits that size. But we got to take what the river gives us, as I always say. And today it gave us some smaller bluegill. And it gave us a gut-hooked catfish a minute ago. So let's tie us on another leader. I did tie up some more leaders last night because we were running low. So we got plenty today. Here, let's get. This is one of our bigger hooks here. This is a 7/0 size. I should probably do. I should probably put this bigger hook on the bigger live bait right there. That's probably what I should do. Bear with me a second. I got the leader in my mouth. Okay. I needed an extra hand right there, and Lord knows you wasn't going to help me, so I had to put the leader in my mouth while I got the bag closed and slid my camera bag back up under the seat. Yeah, this is here is a 7/0 size circle hook. I'd got these because we were gut hooking fish with the chicken. Most of the time you don't gut hook very many on the cut bait, but that one there we did. I wonder. Let's do it. I hate to. We reeled this fish up, lowered him back down. Now we're reeling him up again. We're going to give him some barrow trauma. But I'd feel better about him being as big a fish as he is. I'd feel better about having him on a larger hook that we can run through the back. Yeah, this thing right here, by gosh, got after our bluegill. Unbelievable, man. I mean, he just, I don't know what he was thinking. He had a big appetite, I guess. Yeah, let's run this thing. I'll tell you what, let's do too. Before we do that, let's give that fin a little trim. Well, help prevent any foul hooks. Goodness, come on, fish. There we go. Here, y'all set up here a second, would you? I need you to do something for me. The lighting may be too bad to do it, but I need me a thumbnail for today's video, and this right here would be perfect. That'd be a perfect thumbnail, but it's probably going to be too dark to use. Okay, we'll send it down here. Let me get y'all back here in the chest. Thanks for taking that picture for me. Hopefully it'll get me a few views on the video. Let's send him down. I feel better about having the bigger hook in him, even though we've brought him up, sent him down, brought him up again. He still seemed lively enough. He'll get down there and recuperate a little bit and kick around. Getting them set though, the sinker gets down there before the fish does oftentimes. There we go. Now we got him just off the bottom. I'm raising them things up so they're 2 or 3 feet off bottom, you know. So oftentimes them bigger baits or live baits, the sinker gets there way before the actual bait does, and you gotta work it down there. All right, let's get this set up. So we've got our live bait on the left, and we'll put a shad head over here on the right. Down it goes. Man, y'all, I still can't get over that catfish eating that bait right on the surface. That was freaking awesome, man. That was incredible. Whew. Man. Okay. We're back in the game now. Got both rods reset. We got positive attitude. A little bit of cloud cover helping us out, buying us some time, protecting us from the heat a little bit. I do think eventually that sun is going to rise up above them clouds, unless some more roll in, and that's going to be a kick to the gonads. Yesterday is a little cloudy, and when the sun would come out, I swear you could feel it get 20 degrees warmer. I mean, you could feel the heat melting your flesh off. I much prefer summer over winter, but boy, the heat of the summer like this, I like to get my fishing done early and be home by 11, 12 o'clock. But where was I at on the story about these crooked cops? Well, anyway, yeah, bottom line is we got all this surveillance crap going on. And the people who have access to it, some of them don't need access to it. They're going to abuse it. And while in a perfect world, if this crap was used with the right intentions, it would be great for society. We all know we don't live in a perfect world. We live in a corrupt, power-hungry world. In every facet of life, we have seen people who have power abuse it in some way or another. Whether it's politicians getting stuff passed to fill their pockets, or movie directors forcing their way into these actresses' pants and stuff by offering them roles in movies they wouldn't otherwise be able to get. Like, there's always something going on where somebody is going to take whatever leverage they have and use it. That's human nature, man. That's how we are as a species. So even though I'm not a criminal, and even though I'm not going to probably have this camera technology ever used against me personally, I still don't like the fact that it exists. I mean, statistically speaking, I am far more likely to need those cameras, whether I'm being robbed or a car stolen or broken into or whatever. I'm far more likely to need the technology to help me than I am to ever have the technology used against me. But still, I just don't like the thought of any person or organization having that much power. And if the time ever did come that we needed a rebellion in society, and I'm not saying we do, and I'm not saying we ever would. We're not there yet. I feel like we've been close a few times, but I don't think we're there yet. But if the day ever come that you did, you'd never be able to pull it off. When we broke away from England back in the day and kicked the British's tail back in the Revolutionary War, people could communicate. You could organize back then. Now, you had to worry about tattletales, rats and stuff, moles getting word back, traitors to the cause. You had to worry about them, individual people. But now, with our every move being monitored, our conversations being listened to, our emails being scanned, there's no way to organize anymore. And even if a person could organize something, hell, they'd be dropped from a drone in the sky. I mean, that's the world we live in today. And the thing is, like, these cameras are a big deal on TV and the talking heads and stuff, but it's only a big deal because we know about it. The fact is, this technology's probably already been around long before we ever knew that it was surveying us. Like like them satellites in space where you can pull up your house on the Google. That's what they let us see. How good's the technology that we don't see? You know what I mean? Like how good is that? There was something splashed right here beside us to the left. I guess that's my one, at this point, my one skepticism over aliens. Like, I believe there has to be something out there in the universe that's smarter and more capable than us. There has to be. We can't be all that the universe has to offer. But at the same time, too, a lot of these UFOs that are seen, or UAPs as they call them now, you can't call them UFOs anymore. They're unidentified aerial phenomenon now. This stuff could very well be technology that we just aren't aware exists. I mean, they wouldn't tell us if they had it. Why would they? Now you might say, and I could make this argument, and I thought this for a while, that, well, if the United States had this technology and other countries didn't, we would just run the world. Or vice versa. If Russia or China had it, they would run the world. But the problem is, I don't believe, and we're going down the conspiracy rabbit hole here. Get your tinfoil hat on. We ain't just fishing today, folks. We are going full-on tinfoil hat conspiracy theory. If you do a deep dive on this Epstein stuff, this video has no chance of getting pushed in the algorithm at all. We've talked about so many topics here. We've had some cool stuff happen today. Seeing these fish come up the surface, having that catfish eat the bait off the surface. This video is dead before I ever post it because of what we're talking about. But if you we're going for it, man. We're just doing it. This is what we'd be talking about if you was here with me in the flesh today. So we're doing it. But if you do a deep dive on the Epstein stuff, it seems like there is a power structure outside of your typical power structure that you think exists. Like there's our government, our politicians, the people who run the country, and then there's another group of people who run them. So, if greater technology exists that provides a super sophisticated form of weaponry or surveillance or whatever, and a handful of people, now how they got into this power position, who the hell knows, but if a handful of people control it all, well, then it really wouldn't matter what country that technology existed in, because it's the puppet masters who would be pulling the strings on the puppets, who are the politicians. And we got a string getting pulled on here. Oh, you let it go. That's our cut bait. He's back on it. He wants it. Eat it fast, fish. We're looking right into the sun. There you go. Now he's got it. No, he ain't dropped it. Now he's back on it. I felt him hit it. It come free and he snatched it again. Or one, hell, it could be a group of them. Maybe come free from one and another one snatched it. Let's see what we got. I see the fish, but I don't care about seeing him. I'm looking around to see if I see others. I don't. Single. Oh, dadgummit. I screwed up. Damn it. I tried boat lifting him and he flopped and we snapped our light line. That was stupid. I shouldn't have done that. That's why I started carrying a net, that right there. I do feel like we're having problems with our line. I mean, that's 15-pound line, but the last two trips, we've broke off a lot of fish. I think maybe we got some quality control issues with that line, because it don't seem like we're getting the pound test rating that it's rated for. Because, I mean, I've been using the 15-pound leaders. Well, since last year when we got this light tackle obsession going with me. And you look at how many fish I've caught, how many big fish I've caught in the last year. I mean, think about this spring, man. I was just on an incredible bite. I mean, I had a run of several trips in a row. I was busting huge fish. We never had a problem. We wasn't breaking off. But today and yesterday, man, we lost several rigs from broken line. And it's like, I just wonder if we got a bad batch of line here or something. I may need to buy a different spool. I had that happen one time on my ultralight line. I used 2 pound on my ultralight, you know. Which is, it's doesn't have a lot of abrasion resistance, certainly, when you're using 2 pound on the ultralight. But I would just be tying a knot and would snap my line. And I had a big spool, it was like a 10,000 yard spool, that trout magnet line. That's what I use. And so I pulled off quite a bit of the line and then re-spooled. And it was fine again. I didn't have any more issues, but there was a few hundred yards of that line, of that spool, that, if you just breathed on it, it would snap. It was a quality control issue, I think. So, it happens, I guess. Maybe it's happened on this too. It's just weird. But I shouldn't have lifted that fish like I done. I shouldn't have tried to boat. He wasn't very big, but when you're holding the line like that and he starts to flop and twirl, you're begging for it. You're absolutely begging for it. Let's stick our bait here. That sun's out baking everything. I swear it got 20 degrees hotter when that sun come over the cloud. Put that bait back there in the ice. But yeah, if, getting back to the tinfoil hat, because I know y'all care about it so much, if there are a handful of people that really run the world, it would not matter where the particular technology was stored. It wouldn't matter. And truth be told, hell, would the United States government know about it? Would Russia or China know about it? Maybe not. They might not even know. It might be better to keep them in the dark and just have them thinking it's UFOs or something. Or UAPs, excuse me. So I don't know. I have no idea. I'm inclined to believe that there's something out there greater than us. If a God or gods exist, and I certainly believe there's a God, are humans really the best that a perfect being and a God can come up with? There has to be something greater out there. There has to be. Us humans, how the hell we've survived this long is a miracle in itself. The fact we've survived this long proves there's a God, because otherwise we would have blown ourselves up. We're on the verge of doing it again at any given time. So, I don't know, man. I don't know what's out there. Is it aliens? Another life form? Is it our technology? Is it humans from the past that survived? This fish is going to tell me about his survival when he gets a hook in the jaw. He hit it. He's on it again. There, he got it. There, he done it. Feels like it's going to be another small, though. I want something to eat that yellow bass over there is what I want. You know I want that to happen. Kind of want to put on another bluegill, too. Another single. I don't see anything with him. Outside of that one school, we ain't seen a whole pile of them. But yesterday, I'm wanting to say it was around this time where we kind of got the bite going. I had a later start yesterday. I slept in a little bit too long. Today I was up on time, but we had to get us some live baits, so that delayed us getting started a little bit. We're making up for it though. We're gonna catch some fish today. We're definitely having some fun. Y'all may not be having fun listening to me talk about crooked cops and the New World Order, but Illuminati or whatever the hell you want to call them. What do you call them down there, Fish? Who's your elites? What are they called? He says ain't nobody elite down there in the catfish world. He said it's every man for himself down there. It's full on survival for them. Let's grab us a. We got that live yellow bass on, but honestly, he don't look very lively. I ain't seen that rod tip wiggling around too much. Well, maybe it is a little bit. I still want to kind of put on a live bluegill, I think, maybe, on this rod. We'll have 2 live baits out for a little while, maybe. We got these damn things. Let's use them. It's one of the smaller ones here, but he got grabbed, so he's getting used. Go through the nose on him. Yeah, you just go down there and act all lively. Conjure us up a big old catfish there, bluegill. You do it now. I'm counting on you. Boy, it got hot, y'all. The sun is beating down. 8:30 in the morning. It's a damn sauna out here. But 6 months from now, we'll be dreaming of weather like this, because it'll be freezing cold. Now, I can deal with the heat. I can get out here, butt crack of dawn, catch some fish, have some fun, and go home before it gets miserable. But in the wintertime, you can't fix cold. Cold is just cold. But yeah, man, that's my tinfoil hat conspiracy theory of the day, y'all. Crooked cops, aliens, the New World Order, and not the wrestling type of New World Order. I still say that's the greatest heel turn in the history of wrestling, by the way. Hulk Hogan turning heel. If I ranked, and y'all, again, y'all don't give a crap about this. You're here to see a fishing video and talk about fishing, and we're all over the place with these stories. But I was just thinking the other day, like trying to rank all-time wrestling matches. Not just the match itself, but like the storyline building up to it, the stages of career the wrestlers were in at the time. Like, when you take everything into consideration, like, what would you say is the greatest wrestling match of all time? For me, and I've put in a stupid amount of thought to this. It's almost embarrassing. But for me, I've got to go Hogan versus The Rock. I think it was WrestleMania 18. Vince McMahon, of course, had bought WCW, shut it down. He brought back Hulk Hogan NWO storyline to WWE. So you've got Hogan, who's the bad guy. You've got The Rock, who is super popular. And they have their match there at WrestleMania. And throughout the match, normally you've got 2 big stars like that. One's a good guy, one's a bad guy. The fans are going to cheer the good guy and boo the bad guy. But Hogan was so popular. I think they were in Canada. And I don't know, maybe it'd been a while since they'd been there. But Hogan's the bad guy. He's doing heel stuff, and people are cheering him. And then when The Rock would kind of take control of the match, people would boo him. I mean, the environment was incredible. And then that sequence of events, man, The Rock hits the rock bottom. That's his finishing move, for those of you that don't watch wrestling. He hits the rock bottom, covers Hogan. 1, 2, boom, Hogan kicks out. And then he hulks up. He does he's shaking his hands, man. He's hulking up. Rock's hitting him. It's not affecting him because it's Hogan. It's classic Hogan. Crowd's going crazy. Hogan throws Rock into the ropes, puts the boot in the face, and then he drops the leg on him. 1, 2, Rock kicks out. Fans are going nuts, man. And I wish, man, if I could have wrote the show, I would have put Hogan over there. I would have let Hogan win. I know that's not how it's supposed to go. It was a passing of the torch moment. The Rock's going to beat Hogan, and the old generation passing the torch to the new generation. I get it. But just the environment, the fans kind of taking over, it would have been so awesome in that moment for Hogan to win. And then they could have done a follow-up match at SummerSlam or something and put the Rock over at that point. But let Hogan win in that moment. The people were so into it. I was so into it at the time. And then, of course, the Rock ends up kicking out, and he ends up hitting a couple rock bottoms and a people's elbow, and 1, 2, 3 beats Hogan. And it was anticlimactic. The real excitement of the finish of the match was, I won't say ruined, because it's still an awesome match, and probably if I was ranking matches, it would probably be my favorite of all time. And I'm not a huge fan of Hogan, and I'm not a huge fan of The Rock. I like them both. I think the Hogan heel turn when he formed the NWO, I think that was the greatest heel turn ever. But like growing up as a kid, I wasn't a Hogan fan. I was an Ultimate Warrior fan. And it wasn't until Hogan turned heel that I ever really liked him at all. But I did like the Hogan heel turn. The NWO storyline was great till they ran it in the ground. And unfortunately, after that, we had like a lost decade of wrestling where it was just terrible to watch. They went PG, and Vince McMahon's wife, Linda, was trying to run for Senate or Congress or something up there in Connecticut where they're from. So they turned the whole show PG. It was just unwatchable. I didn't watch it for the longest time, but I've started watching it again here in the last couple of years. Whenever it moved to Netflix, I started watching it again. I was like, let me just see what Netflix is going to do with wrestling. And it was a pretty good show, and I watched the following week, and next thing you know, now I watch every week. I don't watch SmackDown very much on Fridays. I record it and then fast forward through most of it. But Monday Night Raw, I watch most of it. I will fast forward through some matches that I'm not particularly interested in. But for the most part, I follow it pretty closely now. And it's pretty good again. These guys and girls that are wrestlers now it got stupid for a while, but it's a little bit better now. It's not the glory days, but it's not what we went through for 10 years there. It was just unbearable, unwatchable. I honestly think, though, man, I think the girls are better than the guys. Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley's hurt right now, but Rhea, Liv, I don't like Io Sky, but she's pretty good. She's got some moves. I don't really care for Charlotte Flair all that much, but she can wrestle. Tiffany Stratton's great. This Sol Ruka's got a lot of potential. Becky Lynch, I absolutely love. There's some really talented women. Used to, man, women were an afterthought in wrestling. And then, of course, during the Attitude Era, when I was a teenager, you had the bra and panties matches and stuff. Women were kind of eye candy doing the Playboy model shoots and stuff. They weren't real wrestlers. But now, these women, not only they're hot, but they can wrestle too, and the storylines are good. It's enjoyable to watch. I do love me some Liv Morgan. I love Stephanie Vaquer too. She's been hurt for a while. I imagine she'll come back soon. She's probably going to have something to do I'm filming this in advance of SummerSlam, but I could see Stephanie coming back at SummerSlam possibly, and if she's physically able. And having maybe an interruption with Liv Morgan's match cost her the belt, maybe. I could see that happening. Obafemi, man, you talk about somebody being over. Man, that guy, he's easily the most popular person in wrestling right now. Every time he comes out, I'll be sitting there on the couch and I'm doing the strut in place, right there on the couch. My wife, I can't get her to do the strut, but she likes it. She likes his entrance. How can you not? Whoever, I don't know if he come up with that himself or if somebody in the creative department come up with that for him, but it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And Danhausen, not the best wrestler, but I'm into his storyline too. It's so stupid, but you can't not like it. It's entertaining. I actually ordered, and I was supposed to already have it, a Danhausen action figure. I ordered the big rubber guy, which is like an LJN style figure. There's a company called Collect Major, Matt Cardona and Brian Myers. They're wrestlers. He was Zack Ryder, then he became Matt Cardona on the Independents. Now he's back in WWE on SmackDown. He has a company called Collect Major, and they make a line of figures called Big Rubber Guys, which was a take on the old LJN figures, which have, in the last few months, come back. Mattel's making them now. And those were the first wrestling figures I ever had as a kid, so there's some nostalgia there, and I wasn't going to collect them, but my wife bought me Series 1 of the LJN remakes for Christmas, and then she got me Series 2 for my birthday, and now I'm down the rabbit hole. So anyway, I ordered a Danhausen action figure from Collect Major. And it was supposed to ship in June. Well, here we are, end of July here now, still ain't shipped. And I think I'd also pre-ordered a Sergeant Slaughter and Hillbilly Jim figure from Collect Major, and I think the dates on those getting shipped have been pushed back as well. So I don't understand these companies, man. They set themselves up for failure. Like, if June is the absolute best case scenario for getting that Danhausen figure in people's hands, why not tell people July or August? I would have still ordered the figure, but if I thought the figure was coming in August and it shows up in August, I'm not disappointed. It's right on time. But if I thought the figure was coming in August and their best case scenario for them behind the scenes was it was available in June and they're able to get it to me early, I'm going to be singing their praises as a fish right here behind us splashes. Something come up. Let's check our yellow bass. He's not as active as he should be. I'm wondering if he's died. I want to take a look at him. If he's dead... No, he's still swimming. He's still kicking down there. Let's send him back down. He's not as active as I'd like him to be. Well, here's what we'll do. We'll switch over our live bluegill for another piece of cut bait because we've gone too long without a bite now. So if the live baits aren't going to be devoured, then let's put on a piece of cut bait and see if we can get some more action here. Yeah, so anyway, like, back to what I was saying. If a company tells you, hey, we're going to get you pre-order this, we're going to get it to you in August, and it shows up a few weeks early, well, man, you're going to be on social media talking about how great this company is, how they've went above and beyond, they've exceeded expectations. But when they say June, which is their best case scenario, see you, bluegill. You tell your people about the mercy I've showed you letting you go, bluegill. But when they shoot for the best case scenario and then something happens, production delay or pick the problem that causes it to be delayed, when that happens, now you've got people disappointed because you told them June and you're several weeks past when they were supposed to have it. So why not just set yourself up for success? Tell them a later date initially. It's not going to hurt the sales. I would have bought that figure. It's an amazing looking figure. I wanted it. I would have got it. Even if it was going to be shipping in August or September, I would have went ahead and pre-ordered it. But now I'm disappointed with the company. So I don't understand why companies do that. Why do they set themselves up for failure like that? But nevertheless, folks, I've bought me a Danhausen action figure. Who knows when it will arrive, but at some point I'm going to have it. Danhausen, Sergeant Slaughter, and Hillbilly Jim I pre-ordered on Collect Major. So those three will hopefully come at some point. I'm confident I will get the Danhausen figure. It's just not going to be on time. Unlike the Power Town, I'm still pissed off about that. Every time I think about it, I got robbed on Power Town. So back in 2024, my Christmas present to myself, and some of you all have followed along on this saga here. Unfortunately, those of you that have been following along since 2024, there's no real update because we're getting ripped off. But for Christmas 2024, I ordered some wrestling figures from Power Town. It was a company. They were making the old Remco style action figures, which are comparable to the WWE Superstars. It's like a He-Man body style wrestling figure. And this company called Power Town, they had a few guys from my youth that I wanted. The Rock and Roll Express. When I was a small knee-high grasshopper, I loved the Rock and Roll Express. My great-grandmother loved the Rock and Roll Express. I can remember watching wrestling with her when I was a kid. I learned all my cuss words from my great-grandma. We loved the Rock and Roll Express, so they're coming out with these action figures. So I ordered them. I also ordered a 2-pack with Tully Blanchard and Magnum TA. Thankfully, I didn't order the whole set. I only ordered those 4 figures. So I got like $100 in this. Well, I placed the order. It was going to be my Christmas present to myself, and they were supposed to ship in January of 2025. Well, look at the calendar, folks. You know, here we are, July 2026. Still don't have those figures. Nobody has their figures. Companies don't respond to emails. Nobody can get a refund because companies won't respond to it, and it's way too far past time on your credit card to go after it to stop the charge or stop the payment or whatever. So we're just out the money. And there's been no updates in months. If you look on the Powertown website, the last update was from like March of 2025. And it said the figures were en route and shipping soon. Total lie. And there's been a couple updates since then, not on their website, but like on social media and stuff where we just get lied to. It's just been, it's only $100. What's the principle of it, man? It's just crooked. It's dirty. Now, some of the other people that ordered the whole set and ordered, here we go on our cut bait. Something hit it. He's on it again. Did he? I think he got it this time. Look at all that pile of fish right there on the string. Some of them might be cats. Oh, we ain't gonna find out. He let it go. Let me just leave that bait sitting there a second in case something followed it up. I see the innards hanging out of it. Nothing. Let's drop it back down. But yeah, a lot of people ordered them the whole set of the Remcos and the other figures they had to offer, and they're out a lot of money. That other YouTuber I watch does action figure reviews, Kyle Peterson, he's out like $1,000. And it really it's made me think twice about pre-ordering stuff, but the Collect Major, even though they're missing deadlines and figures are showing up late, they are at least fulfilling orders. Once the figures do finally arrive, they get shipped out. So I'm kind of okay with that. I don't like the fact that it's late, but I'm still okay with the company overall. I don't think I'm going to get ripped off like I did with Powertown. The other thing I've pre-ordered, and it was supposed to ship in July, and you know, they better ship soon, by God, or they're going to miss the deadline too. I ordered, and you're going to make fun of me over this. You're going to think this is totally stupid, but I'm really excited about this. I have ordered a Castle Grayskull Chia Pet. I ain't even kidding you. I done it. This popped up on social media thing there. I seen an ad and I was like, I have to get the Castle Grayskull Chia Pet. I haven't had a Chia Pet. Well, first off, I've never personally had one. When I was a kid, though, my grandma had one. Oh, that one got thumped. We got him. We got him. He's pulling a little line. He's hooked on our cut bait. Our live yellow bass still down there, just got his thumb out like a hitchhiker trying to get somebody to pick him up. Meanwhile, our cut bait getting it done here. Just a single though. He ain't got no friends with him. We definitely ain't found the pile of fish that we had yesterday, that is for sure, but there are still some fish here, clearly, because we are getting them. We just ain't getting 4 or 5 fish at a time coming up and trying to steal baits out their mouth as we reel them in. It's still a good day though. Fish, have you ever had a Chia Pet before? He said he's never had a pet at all. Anything that he would catch down there, he would just eat. This fish is an eating machine. He'll eat everything. You don't know what you're missing, fish. A Chia Pet can be very enjoyable. Well, give me the hook back. That'd be enjoyable too. Go on. The old sandwich maker. Old eater-sized blue cat right there. Quality today has been like most of the trips lately, leaving a lot to be desired. Uh-oh, y'all. Get our net out of the way. Our yellow bass got a little lively. Or something nipped at him on. Well, he jumped around a second. Gives me hope he might get eat. Yesterday, them 2 yellow bass that I somehow lucked into, they got eat pretty quickly. Don't have any. There's a larger shad right there. Let's get him. Okay. What'd you do from here? Get your line up here, folks. Got too much slack there. Let's get this thing. Get it back down there. Lord, what have he's done here? How'd you get your... Lord, have you tied the leader in a knot or something here? What's going on? Oh, our yellow bass, get that out of the way. Something's got him. Oh, he let him go too. Something had him, folks. Here, let's get this bait on here quick. Okay, we got our leader undone. I hope whatever got that yellow bass comes back for him. Okay, down it goes. But yeah, y'all, Chia Pet. It was like a holiday gift when I was a kid. You would see the commercials for them around Christmas time. And my grandmother had one. And I remember her putting the seeds and the material on. I remember it growing real fast. It was just the old cow or sheep or whatever the original Chia Pet was. That's what she had. But now they make them in all kinds of different designs. And one come up for Castle Grayskull. Supposed to ship in July, and I'm like, I gotta have that. And so I ordered it. I'm pretty excited about it too. I'm going to put it in my office by the window. I think it's going to look good there because, you know, Castle Grayskull, it's green, and you get all that chia seeds or whatever growing on there, and it'll look like Castle Grayskull. And then, of course, you'll have the eyes and the mouth of the door and all that. I think it's going to look really good. You're going to make fun of me. I know you will. Y'all already make fun of me over my action figure obsession. But I'm excited about it. I hope it ships soon. And I hope, and I don't need these, but I hope these Masters of the Universe Chronicles figures continue to be discounted. Like I said, I stopped at Walmart yesterday, and they were marked down. They're normally $26, which is steep, but they were down to $16. And Target oftentimes runs 50%, 75% clearances on stuff. So it's possible that you might end up getting these figures for a few dollars a piece. And even though I don't have a room for them, and I've already got 2 other lines of Masters of the Universe figures I'm collecting. Well, that's just from the movie alone. I'm also collecting the Mighty Masters He-Man figures, so technically 3 lines of figures I'm collecting. I don't need any more. And I probably wouldn't get all of them. But, I mean, if I could get Skeletor and Trapjaw and Teela and He-Man, if I could get those at 50 to 75% off, I'm probably going to pick those up. The Man-at-Arms, Triclops figures, who's the other? Even the Evil Lyn. Like her Chronicles figure hasn't come out yet, but I don't think it looks particularly good. I'm waiting on the Evil Lyn Kids Core Line figure, the $10 ones. That was the big thing. Like, I was going to get one of those lines, and you look at the $10 figure that's supposedly for kids, and you look at the $26 figure that's supposedly for adults. They look pretty comparable. Man, the kids figures are less than half the price. They're a little bit smaller. They're 5.5 inches. The Chronicles line is 6.5 inches. So a little bit of height and a little bit, bigger diameter. And they don't have the articulation. You don't have as much flexibility with movement on the kids line as you do the Chronicles line. But I don't really care about the articulation, and I don't care about the slightly larger size. So I've just been getting the $10 ones. And I think they look pretty damn good, especially for the price. I mean, I know you might be thinking, well, who the hell would spend $10 on an action figure? Well, I've spent way more on action figures. I'm embarrassed to say. But when you look at the price of action figures in general, the G.I. Joe Classifieds, the Marvel Legends, I don't collect those, but I'm just naming off some other types of figures that are out there, and you compare them in price, and you look at the quality of those figures compared to these $10 figures from the kids' core line. I'm like, boy, it's comparable, man. And for a fraction of the price, I'm going to take the cheaper option. But if these others get marked down and get heavily clearanced, I may pick up some of them that look really good. Like, granted, Man-at-Arms, Triclops, I don't think the figures look too good. Fisto, Ram Man, I don't think those look very good. But the basic figures, He-Man, Skeletor, Teela, Trapjaw, like, I would totally get those if they got marked down to a few dollars. Oh, the other line too. I don't even know if I've told you all about this, but it's turned into a collection, kinda. Accidental. It's the Masters of the Universe sketchbook collection. Those are a Target exclusive. And they came out last year, And they initially launched a 2-pack with Hordak and Grizzlure. And I saw those figures, and the 2-pack was $29.99. And I was like, man, those look really cool, but I don't want to spend that. So I just kind of dismissed it. Well, I go to Target one day last year, and I guess everybody was like me, had kind of dismissed it. So they'd been clearance, and they were 75% off. And I'm like, well, I'm not willing to pay $29.99, but for $8, basically $4 a figure, I'll do that. So I bought them. Well, the next figure comes out in the sketchbook series. And the next fish is about to come out too. That rod got thumped. He smacked it. Well, eat it. Okay. He says, all right. No. You let it go. Let's see if he got her bait. No, he didn't get her bait, and the innards are still hanging out of it there too. He didn't get much of nothing with it. Let's send it back down. Anyway, the next figure in the line came out. Cyclone. Same scenario. It's like, man, this figure looks cool. I'd like to have it, but it was an individual figure. It was $19.99. I was like, I'm not paying that. Well, give it a few months. They're all sitting there on the shelf. Target clearances them. Got it for a few dollars. I'm like, okay, I'll pay a few dollars for it. I've done that with every figure since then. So there's been, after Cyclone, there was Spike Ore. I got him after Christmas. Same deal, few dollars. He-Man came out after that, and I did have to pay a little more for He-Man. I only got him at a 20% off. He wasn't sitting on the shelves like the other ones were. And so Target had run a sale one weekend, and I was like, I'm going to go ahead and get that one, just in case I might miss my chance. And the last figure that come out was Manny Faces, and same deal, clearance. Got him for a few dollars. So the next one that's about to come out, I should be seeing it in stores anytime now because I think it actually is out, is the Skeletor sketchbook series. And I think it's going to be like He-Man, where it's probably going to be a popular figure. Even people who's not collecting the whole line, there are people who will collect just He-Man and Skeletor figures that maybe not buy the others. So I think it'll be a situation too where if it goes on sale randomly at Target, if they're offering like a 20% off one toy type deal, I'll go ahead and just pull the trigger and get it at a slightly less discount. I'm not going to pay full price for it, but I'm kind of into them. I've got one shelf there in my office with those sketchbook figures. I've got another one there with the core line figures. I've got another, because these are like cube shelves, if you will, like 13 by 13 cubes. And so one with the sketchbook, one with the core line. I ended up buying that damn Roton too. I got it last weekend. It was on clearance. The Roton is the vehicle with the spinning blades in the He-Man movie. I wasn't going to buy the vehicles because I don't have room for them. But I go into Target and it's 50% off, and I'm like, how can I pass this up? So I've got it now. So on the top shelf of this thing, and I told my channel members, one of my channel members had asked me to do like an office tour to see this stuff. So I'm going to film that at some point for a channel members video, but I'll describe to you what it's like in there while we're not catching fish right here. On the top shelf of this thing, I bought a Castle Grayskull. And I've got the Mighty Masters figures, which are mini figures. They're like 3 1/4 inches tall, and they look amazing. They're the best value in action figures right now because they're only $4.97. Problem with them is they're a Walmart exclusive, so they're a bit difficult to find. But if you can find them, they're awesome. $4.97. And so, pause the story a second. Let's pick up on it, see if he's got it. He does. Nope, not anymore. Let's see if he comes back for it. And we'll reel it up and check it, make sure it's still in good shape. We may need to switch it out. It's Been hit twice now. We'll see if the innards are still in there. Yeah, he knocked the stuffing out of it. Let's switch it out. I'm disappointed in our yellow bass. He ain't conjuring us up nothing. He's letting us down over there, y'all. We always live bluegill baking in the bait tank too. In that 90-degree water. It probably is over 90 degrees in that bait tank, because if the water surface temps here is 88 degrees and my face feels like it's 130 degrees in the sun right now, I bet you that bait tank that's enclosed has got to be over 90-degree water temps. But I hate to take the yellow bass off while he's still alive, because that is the biggest live bait we have, certainly. And they got gobbled up yesterday, so I'd like to leave him on. We'll just keep rocking the cut bait on one and the big live bait on the other for the time being. But anyway, I've got these Mighty Master figures that are 3 1/4 inches tall, and so I bought Castle Grayskull. And I've put it up on the top shelf in my office there, and I've got those figures, the mini figures, in front of it, because granted that Castle Grayskull is for the origin style figures, which are 5 1/2 inches, your typical, what you would think of as He-Man from the 80s or when we were kids. But the castle was never really proportionate. Like, as a kid I had it, and it was functional, but it wasn't like a majestic castle. It was more like a house, really, because of the size of the castle's like 18 inches tall, and the figures are 5 1/2 inches tall. So just looking at it cosmetically, the proportions don't seem right. It's basically the height of the castle's 3 times the height of the figure. But you get these Mighty Master figures, 3 1/4 inches. Well, now this castle looks majestic when they're standing in front of it. It's like 6 times the height of the figures. Looks amazing. So I'm currently waiting on Series 2 of the Mighty Masters to come out. Series 1 had He-Man, Skeletor, Beastman, and Man-at-Arms. And the Beastman and Man-at-Arms were quite difficult to find, especially since we had to find them for my wife also, because she got into those figures too. My wife's collecting them also. So I had to have a set for me and a set for her. And these figures, they come 8 to a case. But there's 3 He-Man, 3 Skeletor, 1 Beastman, and 1 Man-at-Arms per case. So if a person wants a whole set, ooh, big splash right there. I didn't see what it was. I bet it was paddlefish. But if a person wants a whole set of these figures and they go in and they're the first one into the store, well, everybody else is just left with He-Man and Skeletor. It's the only things left. And so, like the Walmart I went to yesterday, they had 4 boxes of these figures, but it was nothing but He-Man and Skeletor. All the others had been cleaned out. So they're a difficult set to collect. And Series 2 is supposed to be coming out any time now. And so I'm going to be on the hunt for those. But, yeah, I'm building a little Planet Eternia up on the top shelf in my office with Castle Grayskull and these figures. And I've been into the WWE Knuckle Crunchers figures too, which are also a miniature figure. They're the same. The body proportions are different than the Mighty Masters, but it is the same height. So they scale pretty well. And so I've put a couple of those up there right now just to add more figures to the display, because the first 4 figures just wasn't enough really for that area on the shelf. But if this line continues, if they keep making these figures, and I hope they do, we know for sure we're getting Series 2 because I've seen pictures of them online. Now, how deep it will go, I don't know. I don't know how well they're selling. I would imagine at $4.97 a piece, these things probably cost them $1/4 to make in China. So, I mean, the profit margins are high, even at a low price point like that. But they're pretty awesome. If you are somebody that's like me, you're in your 40s, you grew up with He-Man, you're going through a midlife crisis, you're wanting to relive your youth, get some action figures, but you don't have space or you don't have the finances to go all in on it, These Mighty Masters are a good, they're almost a gateway drug. Oh, our right rod. Oh, that was a better takedown. He got mad at it. He got mad at it, but it ain't gonna be a very big fish though. 22 feet. 22 feet deep here. Just a dink, but boy, he slammed it hard, didn't he? Nobody with him either. Just a single. A single looking to mingle right here. Come over here, fish. You go ahead and splash me. It feels good. I'm burning up. It's the face of the sun out here. Don't make me get a net on you now. Just open up that mouth. Let me get hold of you. There you go. Give me that hook. I'm trying to sell people some action figures right now. This fish don't care. He don't care about no action figure. He said he makes his own adventures. There you go. Old dinkety-doo. Let's grab us another. We had the head on there. Let's grab a body section and see what that'll do. We're getting some action today, but not nearly as much as yesterday. Yesterday was definitely more fish in this area, more aggressively feeding fish in this area. And I don't know if they're just not here or just not as aggressive today. That's one of them things just don't know the answer to. We'll never know the answer. I was hoping we could just repeat the bite today though. And unfortunately, to this point, we ain't been able to. Other than that one, which was made the trip for me, getting that fish to eat it off the surface, but still. I kind of want to put on a bluegill too. This yellow bass over here, I mean, it's a huge bait. But the problem is, the rod tip's just sitting there, just calm as can be. Like he's just not active. He's not wiggling. He's too damn calm. Let's reel him up and put a bluegill on. Actually, you know what? He's gone. Well, apparently my hook come undone. I had a lousy knot, apparently. Oh, well, we got a fish. I ain't got time to dwell on it because we got a big takedown here. We've been pulling along. That's why he ain't been moving over there, folks. He moved his ass on out of here. This is a better one right here in our hand, though. This is a better one. Hopefully the knot's a little better on this one. This is a blue for sure. He's rolling, but I definitely think it's a little better than the last one we got. I can't believe that. You'd think me fishing as long as I have been, I could tie a knot, but apparently I can't. Because that fish done untied that knot on the hook and just took off with the hook and everything. That hook's on eBay right now. I guarantee he's done listed it for sale. He probably forged my autograph on it too, knowing that fish. Okay. Come over here. We're gonna net you. Then we're gonna get us another leader on that other rod over there, and hopefully keep the hook attached on this one. Can't believe that. That explains why he ain't been moving though. Dadgummit. Okay. Where are you hooked at? Oh man, he got it kind of deep too. I see it back there though. I wonder if I don't know if I can get to it. I don't know if I can get to it or not. If I can. I don't know if we're going to get that or not. It is way back there, but I see it. I can't swallow it completely, but it's close. There we got it. Did we hurt the fish, though, in the process? I don't see him bleeding down there. Is he bleeding out the side? I think no. Fish, you got lucky. If you had that thing a 1/4 inch deeper, we'd have lost the hook and he'd have probably lost his life. That fish got lucky. We didn't get lucky though when we lost the dang hook off the other one. Lost the whole hook. We need to switch out this bait, but let's just send it back down since it's on there while we get another leader tied on. And once we get that new leader tied on, we'll reel this up and replace it. But I just want to send it back down for the time being so we'll have something down there. Dadgummit. I can't believe y'all untied that knot on me. I know you all done it. Been fishing more years than most of you have been alive, and I can't tie a damn knot apparently. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, folks. It's always something. And if something stupid like that's going to happen, you know when it's going to happen? It's going to happen when I'm doing one of these unedited, uncut videos where you all see everything. Because if I'm going to make a fool of myself, it never fails. It's going to happen in front of an audience. That's all right, though. Those of you that are with me at this point in the video, you have probably seen me make a fool out of myself so many times now. You've come to expect it. So, anyway, get this tied on. We're going to put us a live bluegill on. And then we'll be reset. Okay. All right. Let me grab us a bluegill out of here. Hopefully they're still alive. Yeah, they all still look pretty good. I don't see any of them floating. That's one of our slightly bigger, or at least bigger for what we caught this morning. Quality was not good this morning, that's for sure. But he'll catch us something, hopefully, as he flings water on my face. Did he get water all over your face too? On the lens? Nope. Camera lens is clean. Okay. All right, he's reset. Now let's get us another piece of cut bait, because the other one there was kind of chewed up, but it was still on the hook, so I thought we'll go ahead and send it back down to save time. But now that we're reset, we'll go ahead and put a better piece on. I'll give them this piece. I'm going to throw it down there and they can fight amongst themselves for it. Hook that up under the gill plate, out a nostril, and down it goes. Carolina rig going down. But yeah, folks, if you're going through a potential midlife crisis in your 40s, grew up during the kind of the heyday of action figures, and you're thinking about dabbling in it, I highly recommend those Mighty Masters figures. They're cheap. They look great. Very detailed for their size. If you're limited on space, they don't take up much space, because I mean they're literally just 3 inches. So you can put them on your desk, on a shelf in your house. You can carry them around in your pocket if you want to have a battle or play with them or something. I mean, you got options with them, you know, and you can get the whole set for, at least of Series 1 anyway, you can get the whole set for less than the price of one of the Chronicles figures. I mean, at $4.97, you're looking at $20 for the whole set. One of them Chronicles figures being $26 a piece. Well, $16 now on the clearance, but still, you get what I'm saying. They're a good value. So I'm a fan of them. I'm gonna get them as long as they're going to go forward with the line. We'll see. They ain't come out with no more knuckle crunchers in a while from WWE, so I'm wondering if that line is kind of fizzled out. We'll see if any more pops up in the near future, but I've went back and got almost all of the old ones of those that I wanted, with the exception of the Undertaker and Finn Balor. I haven't found any of those out in the stores, and I'm just not willing to pay $20. Those are $8 figures. Like, oh, there goes our cut bait. It's another small though. I already feel him down there just rolling every which way. Another dinkety-doo. As soon as he hit it, he was instantly just rolling around, acting a fool. I don't see anybody with him. Another single. I think yesterday may have just been one of them rare things where fish were just so aggressive they were willing to literally steal bait from each other's mouth. Other than that one time today, we just ain't seen it. Well, we had that time we had the double going on too, and a couple would come up. But beyond that, it's been mostly this, just a single here, a single there. But yeah, Undertaker and Finn Balor. Let's just leave our bag out here a little bit so I don't have to keep turning around and getting into it. The sun's behind a cloud again for the moment. Knocked the temperature down about 5 degrees. But yeah, they're like $7.84 at Walmart, $7.99 at Target. Plus, Target runs sales all the time, so they're a cheap figure. But when you look them up online, try to find Undertaker or Finn Balor, they're $20+, and I'm just not willing to pay that for those figures. I'll pay it for the superstars. I'll pay it for the LJNs. Not going to pay it for the knuckle crunchers. But the knuckle crunchers are another figure. If you're short on space or short on finances, they're a good option because they are cheap and they don't take up much room. Even the knuckle crunchers ring, which I got it, but I mean, it's just a small little ring and play set. You can put the figures in there, and it's all of these figures come with accessories too. So you'll have like tables and ring barricades and stuff, and you can set up like a little arena. And I'm not ashamed to say I have done that at my house in my office there. So yeah, this is my life now, folks. 44 years old. I fish from about 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. in the mornings. At least weekdays anyway. Screw the weekends when all the bass boats and pleasure boats are out. Is this fish got it? Is something on there? Let's pick up and find out. No, he come free then. Did he get our bait? No, he just hit it again. Is he going to follow it all the way up? Oh, now he's done tore that bait. He literally took half the bait, bit it off. I wonder if that was a cat or if that was something else. Let's grab this one. But yeah, folks, this is my world nowadays. Weekdays during the morning, if weather permits, if it ain't real windy or pouring down rain, I go out and fish from about 6 to 10. And time I get off the water, get home, get lunch, you're looking around noon. I'll do my video stuff. If I got a video that particular day, I'll work on the video stuff in the afternoon, getting it uploaded and the shorts videos made, and anything exciting happens, I'll make a shorter edited video for my second channel. I do all that video crap, right? If I have time before my wife gets home, I will sometimes take an afternoon nap. I do enjoy a good afternoon nap. Then once my wife gets home, her and I hang out. We have our time just catching up on the day, and we'll sit there on the couch and she'll do her Legos or read a book, and I'll play a little Mario Kart. Then usually she'll go shower, I'll work out. She goes to Pilates class in the mornings before she goes to work, so that's kind of her workout. So while she's showering, I'll work out. Then I'll shower, we eat dinner. And yeah, and then from that point, it's, well, both of these rods are getting hit right now. That one's going down. That one's going down. The other one got hit. Something smacked our bluegill over there, or he got jumpy from something. We went through some fish, apparently. Two baits out, and both of them got a little attention. Only one of them hooked up, though. Will any of the fish in the school follow this one to the surface, though? That is the question. Don't see them. This one's at least a little better dink. Grab your net. Get over here, fish. Let's get you in that net, sir. Got him. We got him. Come on in. Boy, that bait is... he's knocked the daylights out of it, too. We're getting it back, but you can have it, fish, as far as I'm concerned. That thing's... boy, it's tore up. I tell you what, I'm gonna hand feed this fish. We almost fed one earlier there that ate it off the surface. Definitely the exciting part of the day to this point. But fish, we are literally going to hand feed you like the tarpon down there in the Florida Keys at Robbie's. There's a restaurant down in the Keys in Islamorada called Robbie's, and you can hand feed tarpon there. Here you go. You're welcome. You're welcome, fish. He didn't act very thankful, did he? He was kind of rude on his way out, trying to splash us like that. As hot as it is, though, I really don't care about getting splashed. Let's grab us a... I've been putting the heads on the last few times. Let's try a body section. We're getting low on the heads anyway at this point. I'm gonna reel that bluegill up. Take a look at him. Since he got hit, he may have gotten knocked off potentially, or killed. If that's the case, we'll switch him out for a new one. Still got plenty left. We ended up having way more live baits than we apparently needed, but I guess it's better to have them and not need them than need them and not have them. Let's see what we got going on here. Yeah, he's still on there and kicking. Back down he goes. All right, about to be reset here again. There we go. And okay, all right, we reset. Currently 26 feet. Just, you can see here on the map, we got the flat over here to our left. Got the contours kind of tight, signifying the drop here on the right. And then, of course, out there and to the right is the main river channel, the old original riverbed. So we're just on the top edge of this drop, just following it along down through here. Making our way in the world today. Takes everything we got. As the old song goes from Cheers. Something's after it, just like that. When that's happening like that, I'm wondering if that ain't like maybe a yellow bass nipping on it. I'm wondering if that ain't what that is. Something small, you know, just nipping. Not something big enough to actually eat it. Crazy, man. I had never caught a yellow bass on a catfish rig, ever. And now we've got 3 in 2 days. Pretty insane. He's still over there just nipping. Let me pick up on him. See what our bait looks like. He might have done chewed it up already. How many times he nipped it? It still looks okay. Drop it back down. Yeah, as I was saying, folks, this is my life now. 44 years old. I fish early morning hours on the weekdays, collect action figures, and play Mario Kart. I mean, what a life. I wouldn't change a thing. I like living like this. I like, you know, and I've told you all this before, I've never been a marathon fisher. I don't like going out and spending 12 hours a day on the water, sun up to sundown. I'm not that kind of person. I want to go out and have my fun and then take it to the house, you know. And so these hot summer months like this, we can get out and fish from dawn till 10ish, and the heat's bearable. It's, you know, it's doable, and by the time you get home, it's time to eat, work on the video stuff, maybe get a nap in if I got time. That's a full paddlefish right there in front of us. I hope the camera caught that. I was looking that way and saw him come up. Big paddlefish. He completely breached the surface. Now our bluegill over here got lively. He was cheering that paddlefish on, I guess. A lot of paddlefish activity the last couple days. I've seen a bunch of big splashes. They're definitely in this stretch of river right now. There was another one jumped over there. He was a good ways away. The camera was pointed at it though. I don't know what makes them jump out of the water like that. I've heard that when the carp do that, is to try to get stuff off of them, like parasites or whatever. They'll try to jump up and get it off, but I don't know about the paddlefish. Maybe the same reason. I'm sure somebody out there knows. What is that behind us? Oh, boat wake or something. It's like I hear something coming. But yeah, it ain't a bad life, folks. Fish a few hours in the mornings, collect some action figures, play some Mario, hang out with the wife, hang out with the animals. Daphne the dog, Midnight the cat, Martin Luther kitty. There's worse ways to live, man. I'll tell you what is not living well and barely just hanging on at this point. It's my toenail. Let me show you this. Some of you want to be disgusted. I've got just and it's about to pop free right now. Look at that. We could remove this right here on video. I might for sure be able to get it today. So those of you who've been following along my toenail saga, so back in February, as this fish is wanting to interrupt my story, he knew you all was repulsed by my rotting toenail. My line is just kind of at an angle going that way. Is something still? Nope. He got our bait. We ain't got no bait on there. Oh, there goes our bluegill. There it goes. There it goes. Oh no, he come free too. Good golly. We still got our bluegill though. Is he still kicking? He is. Go make us proud, buddy. You go down there and get us something. Make sure he gets you and the hook next time. Okay. Let's grab us another one here, since we got robbed. Anyway, back to my toenail that you all care so much about. So it's back in, I think it was January, February, I dropped a desk on my toe. Smashed my toe. Well, I guess the impact killed the toenail. And so my new toenail starts growing up under it and kind of pushing it up and out. And finally, a month or so ago, half of my toenail finally broke free on the right side of my toe. This part over here, it broke completely free. So I took trimmers and cut off, but this part was still hanging on. You can see my other nail coming in behind it here and up under it. But this part, oh, there we go. He's running. He's running. He's running big time, man. Oh, buddy, he's a running. This might be a little better fish. That was a hell of a takedown. These fish do not want me telling you about my toe injury. I don't blame them. Y'all don't want to see it. I didn't want to go through it. But it happened. Doo-doo happens, as the saying goes. Hell of a takedown on this fish, but he's barely fighting now. He's just right here under us. He's not wanting to, I guess he used all his energy right there on the initial takedown. I do still think it's going to be a little better quality. When he just rolled just then, it felt like a bigger roll. I think he's going to be a fun sizer. Come on up. We ought to be seeing him soon. Yeah, that's the biggest one of the morning. That's a front camera worthy fish right there. Get the net, one of you. One of you grab a net for me. There. There. Get the net over here. Get it ready. Be the first thing y'all have done helpful today after you done untied that hook on me earlier. I know you've done it. You sabotaged me. I know how yous are. Didn't bring no bait with you today. Won't help me bait rods out here. You won't do nothing for me. So I know you ain't gonna net this fish, but I'm gonna net it my damn self, and we're gonna hold it up there in front of the front camera mount. Something's after our bluegill over there. Okay, come over here. Steer yourself into that net there, fish. Come here. Come here. There we go. We got him. We got him. Yeah, biggest one of the morning, folks. That is a nice fish. We've hit a button on our screen there apparently too. Let's X out of that. Okay, okay. Nice. Where's the hook? There it goes. Get it unwrapped around him here, and we're going to hold him up. Here, y'all set up here in the front seat. There we go. Okay. Not bad. Get that line all wrapped around him there. He's still wrapped around his tail. Doggone fit. You can just take a picture then with the line wrapped around you. This fish will do anything to get his moment of fame lasting a little longer, even if it means ruining a picture. There we go. There you go. All right, I'll fist pump that. I'll fist pump the fun sizer. Best one of the morning. You know, it's a far cry from some of the better quality fish we've gotten this year. But lately, while the spawn's been going on, it's been tough times on the better quality fish. And we saw that monster yesterday that followed that small fish up. I've got slime all over me. But as far as actually reeling in the big fish, been very limited good quality fish lately. Very limited. Lots of dinks when we've been in the right place at the right time. Like yesterday, a bunch of dinks. Few fun sizers mixed in, few fish that size mixed in there yesterday. But overall, just tough to get good quality this time of year. It'll pick up here soon. These fish will be off the nest soon, and we'll be getting better quality more frequently again. But like I was saying yesterday, I'm I'm not seeing fish that are beat up. You know, they don't have scars on them, marks on them, no wounds to suggest they had just come off the nest. I haven't been seeing any of that yet. And typically you will. You know, when they come off the nest, they'll be marked up pretty good. Just ain't seen it so far. All right, we got this bait down. Our bluegill was getting messed with over there while we was fighting him. So let's put the camera here back in the chest and we will see if he's still on, potentially. On and alive, or he is on and he is alive. He's doing okay. Back down he goes. But yeah, my toe, so anyway, half that toenail had broke free a month or so ago. And I trimmed it over to here, but this part was still hanging on. And it's been hanging on. It looks terrible. It looks disgusting, actually. But I think it's about ready to break free. So, we're in the home stretch with the toe injury. It don't hurt. Oh, now our bluegill's going down. And he was going down. Let's try it again. That bluegill's let us down multiple times now. He's gotten hit. And now something's on this one. The line's still bouncing around. Well, they've ruined that bait. Thing wasn't on there 30 seconds, and they've already ate half of it. You know what? Let's grab another one of our bluegill here. We've got that bigger bluegill on that side. Let's get one of these smaller ones and do another live bluegill on this side too. He'll be a little bit more lively, a little bit smaller. Our shad here in the floor, which are baking in the heat currently, I'm gonna go ahead and put them back in the cooler. But you can see that we're kind of getting down to the scraps and the smaller shad that I've got. That one there might be decent, but we're down to the scraps here, folks. I'm gonna toss whatever we got left today. I'm gonna toss them. Tomorrow, I'm thinking about doing something different. I don't know if I'm going to film it, but I'm going to do it. And I don't know if any of y'all will be interested in it or not, honestly. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Whether or not it works out, we'll see. But, so tomorrow, I think I am going to bust out my Tenkara rod, which I had bought back in, I think it was 2021 or 2022. I bought it. And we were out the other day. I was fishing upriver from here, and there was a bunch of mayfly action along the shoreline. And I threw the cast net because I thought it was shad coming up and popping, but it was yellow bass. They were up there eating the mayflies. And I got to thinking, I'm like, boy, that sure would be fun to take the Tenkara rod out there with a little fly and imitate those mayflies and catch those yellow bass or bluegill or whatever. So I'm going to do that from the kayak tomorrow. And I don't know that I should attempt to film it because it's probably going to be a disaster. I don't know if I can carry on a conversation while I'm working that Tenkara rod. I don't know if I'll do any good with it. I don't know if I'm going to end up in the trees and hung with stuff behind me and all that. I don't know. But we'll see. I may end up filming it. We'll see how I'm feeling in the morning about it. But I got that Tenkara rod a few years ago because I had gotten into... Well, there's two fishing channels. And again, I've told you all this before. I don't watch many fishing videos. For a couple of reasons. One, I spend so much time having to do computer stuff with my own videos for this channel. when I'm done, the last thing I want to do is watch more fishing videos. The other thing is I don't want to be influenced. I don't want to watch somebody else's fishing video and then me start, not even knowing it, just subconsciously imitating them, either their mannerisms or something they're saying or doing. Like, I don't want to be influenced like that. When you watch my videos, I want you to get me, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. Like, I want it to be authentically me that you're seeing. So I don't watch many fishing videos, but I will say occasionally I will watch a couple fly fishing channels. Drew Looking Fishy was one I was watching way back, and it kind of got me interested in maybe learning how to fly fish. Well, I've told this story I think before, but I took a fly fishing class. One of the little tackle shops up in the Smoky Mountains offers classes, and it was reasonably priced, and it's a full day. And how the class went, the first part of the morning was done at the shop, and your instructor takes you out behind the shop there in the yard area, and he teaches you how to cast, and all the equipment, everything's provided with this class. And we're out there and learning all these fancy casts and everything, and then you get some lunch, and they kind of go over flies and various stuff, just it's educational the first half of the day. Well, the second half of the day, the guide takes you up into the mountains, and they fit you for some waders, and you take the gear, and you go up into the mountains, and you fish a stream, and he kind of points out, like, you want to make a cast here, do this, yada, yada, yada. Well, the class was going good till we got on the water. And we get up there, and every time I go to swing that rod, I'm in a tree behind me, I'm in a tree in front of me. If I do hit the water with a fly, I'm snagged up. I mean, I don't even want to know how many flies we went through. Didn't catch any fish. And by the end of it, I was like, this sucks. I don't want to ever go fly fishing again. This is awful. Because, we spent all that time in the morning learning how to do all these fancy casts, but then you actually get up in the mountains and there's overhanging trees everywhere, and you can't do any of those casts. We were essentially doing that little roll thing, just kind of popping it over. And so at that point, I was like, you know what? Me and fly fishing, it ain't meant to be. I'll watch these other guys on the YouTube, but I'm not doing it. So, fast forward, I'm at the beach. And I'm down there in I was in Boynton Beach. So I know exactly where I was at. I was down there in Boynton Beach in a little park area. And I was taking my kayak out, and this woman come up to me. And she's, asking about fish and stuff. She doing a good day, yada, yada, yada. And I was talking to her, and she was down there in Florida on vacation from Colorado. And she starts talking about how she fly fishes in Colorado, which prompted me to tell her the story about how I hate fly fishing because I had a terrible experience in this class. I got the PTSD from getting snagged every time I moved that rod any direction. I was in a damn tree or in front of me, behind me. We lost a ton of flies. And this woman, she's like, oh, no, honey, no. You need to be doing tenkara fishing. It's so much better than fly fishing, so much easier and simpler. And I had never heard of tenkara fishing at that point. This was new to me. I had never heard of it. When I get back home, though, I was still thinking about that woman, what she said. I looked it up. And for those of you that may not be familiar, tenkara fishing is essentially a fly fishing with a fixed line. You have no reel. Your line is attached to the end of your rod with a piece of tippet, which is thinner, smaller diameter line that goes then to your fly. So you're not letting out a bunch of line at all. You're casting 12, 13 feet at the most and just working that fly. And them Tenkara people, they're not matching the hatch. They're not doing all these different fly patterns. They fish with one fly. And the simplicity of it was very appealing. So I started watching some videos on it. Read a book about it. Ended up going down the rabbit hole, buying a damn rod. And I got into a YouTube channel called Tenkara Addict. And I started watching some of his videos. And so now, guilty pleasure, like if I do watch a fishing video on YouTube, if I just need some background noise or something to watch, I usually put on a Tenkara Addict video. And he puts out a new video once every 2 weeks. So it's not like I'm inundated with content with him. It's once every 2 weeks you get a new one, and that's about as often as I want to watch a fishing video, so it works out. But anyway, I think that Tenkara Addict guy, I think he has 2 YouTube channels. Like, I think he does something else as like his primary income, and then Tenkara fishing is kind of his hobby, and he'll film it. But his videos are pretty good, and these mountain streams he's in, or the scenery, the background there is enjoyable to look at. And anyway, I watch his stuff. Well, I had bought that Tenkara rod set up a few years ago, and I've used it in ponds. I've never taken it to the mountains at all. And for the most part, I don't even really think about it unless I'm watching one of them videos, and then it dawns on me. It's like, oh, I've got that damn rod. I ought to use it. Well, I seen all them mayflies busting the fish busting the mayflies the other day. And I was like, this would be perfect for that Tenkara rod. Because they were hitting them mayflies so close to the kayak, I could reach them with the shorter line. And I mean, anything on that Tenkara rod, bluegill, yellowback, they're going to be super fun to catch. So I was kind of thinking tomorrow, I wanted to come back out. I was thinking about it today, but like I wanted to come back out here and see if we could replicate that same bite we got on yesterday. But I'm thinking tomorrow's the day. I'm going to take the Hobie Lynx and go out there with that damn Tenkara rod and try to work around them trees all the mayflies was on and see what I can catch with it. And I don't know, maybe we take a couple catfish rods too, and whatever we catch, we stick in the bait tank, and if that bite fizzles out, or if it ain't working out real well, or if we're not having fun, whatever the case may be, then we take whatever fish we do catch and go catfishing the rest of the morning or something. I don't know. But I think I'm going to do it. I keep saying every year, like, I'm going to take that damn Tenkara rod up the mountains and catch some trout. And then I don't do it. I never get around to it. But I'm going to do it soon. And I think tomorrow's the day. It won't be the conditions that the Tenkara rod is made for. It's made for trout fishing, mountain streams and stuff. But we're gonna give it a shot, I think. Have some fun with it. Goof around a little bit. I'm a few videos ahead on this channel, so I can take a day for just me if I want to. Not have to worry about not getting videos. I just don't know. There's some unknowns. I don't know if any of y'all would be interested in watching me do that. I mean, a lot of people obviously watch fly fishing channels and the Tenkara videos and stuff, but you're usually watching people like the Tenkara Addict guy or Drew Looking Fishy, who are good at it and competent and able to educate you and explain what they're doing and actually catch fish. I don't know if anybody would have any interest in watching me fumble through it, being a complete novice at it. So that's number one. Number two is, can I maintain a conversation like this while I'm doing it? Now, it's one thing when we're out here catfishing today, the motor's driving for us, the rods are out, like I'm just set back relaxing until a fish comes along. I can sit here and communicate easily. When we were ultralight fishing this morning, catching our bait, same deal, like, yeah, I'm actively casting, but I'm not having to think about what I'm doing. I can think about the conversation while I'm just going through the motions. With casting, like I've done a million times before, I don't have to think. With the Tenkara rod, though, I think I'm probably going to have to actually put some thought into how I'm casting and working around trees and stuff. And that may detract away from the conversation. And then are people going to click off the video if I'm not able to function in a conversational way? I don't know. There's some unknowns. Because I'll tell you, I've struggled with this when we've had live scope, which we don't have it on this kayak. But like when we've had live scope and I've went out and tried to target individual fish. Like there a few winters ago, I got on the catfish bite and we were catching catfish with jigs after we'd spot them on the live scope. Just toss that jig out, bump it on their nose, boom, fish. It was fun. It was a great time. But it was very difficult. I had tried to do an unedited video of that. And I did. I think the video is like 30, 45 minutes long, something like that. Where I just let the camera roll. But I was having a very difficult time focusing on everything else and talking to the camera. Because, I mean, in that situation, I was having to look at the screen, use my hand to direct the live scope around, steer the kayak, and then when I would see a fish, have to get everything lined up, try to toss it down. There was just a lot going on. And it was hard for me to conversate while I was doing all of that. So that'll probably seem silly to some of you. Oh, big splash behind us. Another paddlefish, I bet. They only make one jump, and then they're gone. You get one jump out of them, and then that's it. If you ain't looking the direction that they're jumping up, you're out of luck. We're looping around here, by the way. We followed this flat all the way up, and you can see it goes around this point, around this creek here that comes out, and we were following that contour, so now it's looping us back around toward the flat this way. And I think I'm just going to roll with it. Yesterday when we got here, I ended up I just quit the day pretty much. Well, the camera battery was about dead at that point, and so I pulled up lines and went down back where we had got on a good concentration of fish earlier in the morning, and I did end up catching a few more fish down there before I left, but it wasn't nothing exciting, just a few smalls, and I wasn't having that situation where multiple fish were following up the fish we were reeling in. But anyway, we didn't loop back around here on this flat yesterday, so I think maybe we will today, and just for a little while longer. That sun's back out again up there, man. It's beaming down. It's miserable hot. It's about time for me to get on out of here, folks, is what it is. But we'll give it a little while longer, see if anything's further up on this flat. We probably actually need to lower our baits down because it's gotten a little deeper over here. 28 feet. That one. Now let's lower this one down. We've got the 2 live baits on right now too, don't we? I'll tell you what let's do. Let's take this bluegill on this side that's been on here the longest. Well, I'm glad he didn't get eat because he was foul hooked. Let's put a piece of cut bluegill on. We ain't tried that today. He's about had it anyway. Let's just put a bluegill head on here. About as fresh a cut bait as you can get. We'll see how that does for us. I wonder how our other bluegill's doing over there. You think we maybe need to switch him out too? Put a fresh one on. We'll try a piece of cut bait. Go back to a cut bait, live bait combo. Let's reel him in. Just see what he's doing. Yeah, he looks like he's had it. Let's switch him out. Put on a new one. Put on a new one that's a little bit more lively. We've still got a bunch of them in here. If I can get hold of one. Easier said than done. You know what? Dadgummit. We'll just pull this whole dang net up here. There we go. That makes it easier. That's what that net's in there for, that liner. He just flopped out. This is a little Engel bait tank. It's got this liner here, about 7 gallons. I've dropped him down inside. Save that energy, Bluegill. You're gonna need it, buddy. Yeah, we still had several bluegill in there. It turned out to be a waste of time. I had high hopes for these live baits, but I think well, here's the thing. If we hadn't have got these live baits this morning, the trip would done be over. Because we're down to our scraps now in a bag of cut bait. So we would have done been out here. We would have done been cleaned out of bait. So probably good that we did get the bluegill, but they just didn't pan out like I had hoped to today. I had really thought that as aggressive as fish were yesterday, if we could get back on them, we were really going to tear them up with the live baits, and maybe be able, if we could have got some better quality live baits, maybe be able to weed out some of the smaller fish to target some of the bigger ones. But it ended up being that yellow bass that we lucked into was our only real live bait that had any size to it. And then of course you untied the hook on me on it, and it swam off with the hook, and I guarantee you that fish has done listed that thing on eBay. He's selling it right now. Kayak Catfish memorabilia. I need to do some of that again. I done that a few years ago, and it was a pretty big hit. A lot of people liked it. I would catch a big fish or something, I'd save the hook and put the picture of the fish and the hook together on a plaque, and I caught some grief over it. A lot of people upset with me for doing that kind of thing, but the people who bought them, they enjoyed it. Never had any complaints from the people who bought them. It was just the peanut gallery. Other people on social media just couldn't believe I would do something like that. I'm like, well, why not? People want it, you know? I can do some of that stuff again, though. I ain't done it in a long time. We got some more clouds moving in. It wouldn't hurt my feelings if it just stayed cloudy till I got home. We're supposed to have a chance of afternoon rain every day, but we didn't get nothing at my house yesterday, and I don't know if it will today or not. I gotta get that tenkara rod out and I guess tie on a new leader. I gotta remember how to tie that thing. I gotta remember how to attach the line to it. Probably have to watch some videos again. But I want to get all that set up, get this trailer unhooked here for this kayak, and get the links loaded up in it. I'm going to do some stuff this weekend on this kayak, some minor projects. I'm going to put a keel guard on it. I ordered some Kydex off of Amazon. It's a kind of a thin plastic that you can heat up and mold. A lot of people will make holsters and things out of, but it works real good as a keel guard. You just take a heat gun, heat it up, and mold it around the keel of your kayak. The front part there, it takes a pounding when you're coming up on the shoreline and boat ramps and stuff. And so I'm going to do that and kind of form fit it to it and then glue it on. And, it'll take a day or so to have that epoxy set to hold it, but I'm going to do that and get that out of the way. And then I think I'm going to try to do something with my batteries. Right now, I've got the batteries in that front hatch for both the graph and the motor. And this kayak, you can put them up there, you can put them under the seat, or you can put them behind you in the rear tank wheel. I think I'm going to leave them in the front hatch. The kayak balances well as long as I've got a cooler or bait tank behind me. I like having the under seat storage for like my camera bag or any tackle we may need, snacks and stuff. If I'm fishing a tournament, whatever. So I think I'm going to leave them in the front hatch, but I'd like to build a little box for them so that when I'm driving down the road, they're not just bouncing around every which way. Because they fit up in that hatch good, but there's not really a good way to secure them up there. So I'd like to take maybe a little bit bigger box, put the batteries in it with some styrofoam around it on the sides to kind of give them some cushion and padding. So I'm going to work on that this weekend. Oh man, that was a big splash right over there. We wasn't looking that way though. Missed out. I bet that one paddlefish earlier though, I bet it got on video. I'd almost be willing to bet you money it did because the way the camera was pointing. But yeah, that's going to be some weekend projects for me. Battery box and then the keel guard, because I think I'm going to go fish a tournament up in Ohio next weekend on Seneca Lake. I've never been there, but the Kayakers Trail has a tournament up there. I think I'm going to take this kayak up there to do it. And I'd like to have a way to, have that box made for them batteries. That way, if I got to take them inside to the hotel and charge them, I'll have a way to easily carry them in. So I got to work on that a little bit. I also got to replace my line. I'd put these cords, I don't know if you can see these cords here. I attached them the other day. Made a little pulley system to detach this lever on the motor and another cord up there around the motor so that I can raise and lower that motor from the seat here without having to physically climb up there on the front and push down that lever with my hand. Well, I get back to the launch yesterday and I go to pull that cord, pull the motor up, and the damn cord snaps. It's been in my shed forever. I guess it's dry rotted. So, yeah, that didn't work out. So I got to get me some new cord too. I probably got some more in the shed somewhere. That was handy and convenient, so I put that on. And definitely going to need something that ain't dry rotted though. So I got little piddly projects to do with this kayak, but for the most part, I think it's set up how I want. I like having this big dashboard here. That's a piece of 1x8. And I've got just enough space there to be able to bolt on them rod holders where they sit in front of the graph. And of course my camera mount back there, and simple, cheap DIY job there. Cost a few dollars in materials between the board, them furniture knobs, the bolts. I mean, you're talking a few dollars. Way cheaper than the third-party kayak accessory companies. There's a few different ones that make like cross beams, dashboards and stuff, and they're $80, $100. They're ridiculously priced for what they are. What is that noise behind us? They're doing something over there at the house. But ridiculously priced for what they are. Like, meanwhile, if you got a scrap board in your garage or shed or barn or whatever, a wooden board and a can of spray paint, you can make that thing look as good as any professionally made dashboard on the market, and just drill you a couple holes and run you a bolt through your gear track. These gear tracks, when you put a bolt through there, the head of the bolt will prevent it from coming out. So then you just need something to screw down on the bolt itself, and these furniture knobs, they're cheap at the hardware store there. Or you can use wing nuts. I only got 3 furniture knobs, so there's a wing nut up there on that one, but it's a simple, easy project. Cheap. And it's worked pretty good. We'll see, once I use the heavy gear again, but with them rod holders being bolted onto that board, it's going to be way more secure than if they were just on the gear tracks themselves. So, yeah. Oh, we got to raise these baits up, y'all. How far? Holler at me. You see us. Well, where's that bluegill at? Hit bottom here. We're 17 feet deep. I didn't realize we were that shallow. I don't know if we were that shallow when I lowered them baits last time or not. I guess we were, because they're all right. Okay. No, now it's 27 feet. The depth must have just been screwed up for a second. It said 17, now it says 27. That's more like it. I was like, boy, if we've come up in depth that far, we're going to be dragging bottom and getting snagged. We really ain't getting nothing over here, though, are we? Since we got down here to this area, circled back further up on this flat, we just ain't got nothing going on. It was coming up through here on the edge of it, the top edge, before it drops off. That's where we were getting our action at. This over here is kind of being a dud so far. But these flats, I mean, fish get up here and they roam around. They're chasing bait. The nice thing about fishing flats is that when you do come across fish, they are actively feeding. Now, if we're out there, we're working a ledge, the deeper part of the ledge, we may come in contact with fish. We may put our bait right in front of them, but they may just be inactive. They may just be kind of lethargic, just hanging out. And if they're not willing to eat, they ain't going to eat. So even if you do everything right and get a bait right in front of them, if they ain't ready and willing, tough break, pal. But you get up here on these flats, and fish that are up here roaming around, chasing schools of bait, like they're actively eating. So when you do get in front of them, they're going to be way more likely to eat it. Way more aggressive. So you do have to sort through more small fish, usually up on the flats, because there'll always be some smalls up here eating. But if you're willing to do that, and if you got light tackle rods like we're using today, well, hell, why not? I mean, they're fun to catch, even if they are small. I kind of wondered this, and I started going on this a little bit yesterday and put a little bit more thought into it last night. And I don't think it's something I would really want to make a long commitment to. But it's a nice thing to think about, a what-if scenario. A what if we spent a whole year, all 4 seasons, hit a variety of water temperatures, water depths, water conditions, etc., and we only focused on the flats. Different sections of the river, different rivers, different depths of flats, but we just focused on flats. When we leave our house to go fishing on a particular day, we just focus on them flats. Like, what would happen? Well, I'm sure we would catch more fish, numbers-wise, but I wonder over the course of the year how many really big fish we would catch too. Because most of the time, I'm fishing deep. I like deep structure. I've always had confidence in it. Deep ledges, deep points, deeper creek mouths. Those are the type of places I typically focus on, and those are tried and true, proven methods. It works. I catch a bunch of big fish every year fishing those type of places. But what I don't do is I don't spend a lot of time in the shallower water. Now, some of you might say, well, Justin, you're on this flat, you're 27 feet right now. It's not really shallow. And correct. And compared to a lot of places, it's not. That's deep water for a lot of places. Hell, there's some rivers some of y'all probably fish that ain't got 27 feet of water anywhere in them. But depth is relative to the water around it, right? So when you're comparing this flat at 27 feet versus water over here in the channel that's 50 to 60 feet deep, well, this is a shallower section. And normally, when I come out, I'm going to fish the deeper structure. But this year, the last month or so here, I've been forced to fish the shallower water because I'm not doing any good at the deeper depths. If I get any fish at all, it's 1 or 2 fish, maybe 3 fish here or there. It's smalls. There's just been nothing going on at the deeper depths for me lately. And I think it's a thermocline issue. I think, at least on the lower end of the reservoir here, I think it's a thermocline issue. So I've been forced to kind of fish some shallower sections. And, this flats fishing, it's been productive on numbers, but the quality hasn't been there lately for the most part. But quality for me is always a struggle during the spawn. So I'm wondering, like, if I spent a whole year, all 4 seasons, how many big fish could I bust? Would it be more? Would it be less? Would it be drastically different? I don't know. I don't really want to make a year-long commitment to it, honestly. But I do think I'll focus on it a little more. And maybe when we get into the better times of year for big fish, the fall, the spring, maybe I will dedicate some days to doing like we've done here today, just taking the top edge of a flat and rolling with it. We'll take some more time and do it and experiment a little with it. I should be fishing areas like this more frequently than I do. I just don't. I just don't. We all kind of get a certain level of confidence in what we're doing and what we know works, and it can kind of hinder your growth as a fisherman. And not just fishing, other areas of life too. You get good at something. Your natural inclination is to keep doing that thing that you're good at, that you know works, and it can be hard to deviate from that. But it would be in our best interest to spend a little more time. I've had trips in the past where I've done it and had success, caught big fish. Actually, on this stretch of river, I don't think it was maybe the year before last, in the winter, I busted some big striper. Dragon cut bait. So, it's a year-round type of place. Fish are going to feed on the flats. They're going to do it 7 days a week, 365. It's just you are going to have to sort through more smaller fish in places like this than what you are on some others. So you're going to go through more bait. And if bait's tough to come by, that can maybe be problematic, but I don't know. It's worth it. It's worth some thought. It's worth an experiment. I just don't know that I want to make a long commitment at it. Because if I commit to doing something for a year and we're 2 months in and I get another idea, I don't know. When I've done long experiments in the past, though, they've been very educational. Like it was 2019, I done the year-long experiment regarding anchor fishing, where instead of hitting a bunch of spots throughout the day, I would hit one spot. Wherever I fished, that was my spot for the day. I would anchor on it for the duration of my trip. And I actually had the best year of fishing I've ever had in my life that year. So that was one of them year-long experiments. I just committed to it and rolled with it, and it paid off in the end. No way of knowing if another experiment like that would pay off, but it did really bolster my confidence in sitting on spots for long periods of time. Because before, I never had the patience to sit anywhere for very long. If I wasn't getting bit in 20, 30 minutes, man, I'm pulling anchor and gone. But just from an efficiency standpoint, it wasn't very efficient. Of course, back then, I didn't have a bow mount motor with spot lock. I was using a physical anchor all the time, and it takes time to pull up your anchor, travel to the next spot, drop anchor again, put your baits out, because of the speed of the kayak and the setup, it's not very efficient to fish multiple spots. Whereas if you spend all of your time in one spot, you got baits in the water the duration of the trip. So you just have to pick areas where fish are likely to work through. You can't pick objects necessarily. Like say you want to check out a submerged tree that's sunken out here in the middle of the river or something. If there's no fish there, you don't want to spend all the trip on there, because there's either going to be fish there or there ain't. But if you pick out something like a creek mouth or a point, or you get like a little choke point area along the ledge that fish are going to be forced to swim through as they move spot to spot or go to their feeding grounds, well then, if you set up on that spot and there's not fish there when you get there, or maybe you are catching fish right away and then you go through a lull and nothing's happening, well, it's really no big deal, because you know more fish are coming. Like, they're going to come through there at some point in time. It's not an if, it's a when. And so I would try to set up on places like that, anchoring. And some days you're out there 4 or 5 hours and you don't get a single bite. You get skunked. You were in the right place at the wrong time. But boy, when it paid off big. And I caught a bunch of fish, caught a bunch of big fish. Broke my PB that year. Like, it was a really good year. But I learned a lot. I learned that, I could be on a spot for 3 hours, nothing going on, and then boom, a school of fish move through, and you've got a window of time to catch them for 20 or 30 minutes. And it would be productive. I also learned, too, that summertime, the anchor bite didn't really work all that well. In the spring, in the fall, and the winter, I done really good on anchor. In the summer, not so much. It was my worst season of the year. And so I know, like, now, you come fishing with me on these trips, I do a lot of anchor fishing. Fall, winter, spring, but in the summer, I like to be on the move, whether it's drifting, if we have current, or trolling like we are today. Because we need to cover more water. Fish are roaming more, they're moving more. And I honestly kind of think having a moving bait is helpful too, versus just stationary. But I learned a lot that year where I just committed, like, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to do it for a full year, get all 4 seasons. Because you can do something for a day or two, but you're not going to have enough feedback from it to know whether it's legit or not. Let's say you go out and you're going to anchor on one spot today, right? For the duration of your trip. And you get skunked. You could have been doing everything right. The right place, the right bait, the right depth, all of it. But if you were there at the wrong time, well, you're out of luck, man. You just ain't going to catch nothing. But everything else was right. Like, you were doing the right thing. You just had your timing wrong. Well, if you base all of your information off that one trip, it's too small a sample size. Whereas if you run it out, multiple trips over several months, you can kind of gauge. You're going to have some really great trips. You're going to have some really bad trips. You're going to have a lot of in between. But over the course of time, you're going to see what the average is. What is that baseline that you can expect? What areas are more productive than others? What baits work at certain times of year? What depths do you need to be at certain times of year? Like, that's what you learn over a larger sample size. So, I'm a big fan of going all in on an experiment like that. But at this stage of my life too, it's like, when my best years are behind me and I ain't got too many more good years left ahead of me, I can do whatever I want. Not guaranteed anyway. I kind of want to make sure every trip I go out, I'm putting myself in the best chance to succeed that I currently know about, while still working in occasional changes and differences and things to experiment a little bit. But I hate to make a long commitment at this point and not be 100% sure it's the right move. But there is part of me that's curious and just wonders, like, well, if we did give it a full run, what would happen? I think we would catch more fish. Now, it would be a lot of small fish driving up the numbers, but just from a numbers perspective, I have no doubt we would catch more. The quality is what I question. I think quality-wise would be a toss-up. For sure we would get some big fish. You do anything for a full year in a place where fish are going to eat, like you're going to stumble into some big ones. But how would that compare to the deeper structure where we know we can get big fish? I mean, this spring we fished a lot of shallow water. It was fishing shallower sections of the river that was 12, 15 feet deep, 20 feet max depth in some areas, and busting some big fish. But they were on their migration. They were moving up. That was pre-spawn. The rest of the year, the deeper depths tend to do better for me. But that's my experience. Other people's experiences are different, and you just gotta, I mean, really, when you get right down to it, you gotta do what makes you happy. You gotta do what's fun for you. And you gotta do what you have confidence in. Because if you're confident in something, you're gonna stick with it more. Now, I will say, I love suspending. Suspending baits is my favorite way to catch them. And doing it in shallower water is certainly more fun. The takedowns are more intense. The fights are better. Like, it's better all the way around. Whereas if I'm down on Nickajack and I'm fishing water that's 100 feet deep and I got 98 feet of line out, it's still a good fight. It's a straight up and down vertical fight. But it ain't going to be as intense as if we hook one today and we're in 20-something feet of water. So, there's arguments for it, for and against it. The argument I'm about to make, though, is to go to the house, y'all. The sun is behind the clouds, but it's still hot as blazes, and I can feel the sweat beads on my upper lip. I seem to sweat more on my upper lip than anywhere else on my face for some reason. But we ain't caught a fish in a while on the live or the cut bait. And, yeah. It's been a minute, y'all. It's been a minute since we've caught fish. We're way up here on the flat now. We're off the edge. Again, I'll pull up on the graph. You can see the line we followed, and now we've looped around. We're over here now. We're way up on this flat, so we should have probably stuck with the edge. I'm always a fan of following the contours, following the edges, but I think it's about over today. We've went a long time now without a bite. I think this is our longest span without a bite today, actually. And unfortunately, we just didn't have the action today that we had yesterday, but we still caught, I don't know, several fish today, a bunch. We fed that one right on the surface, which was awesome. We had our fun with the Ultralight this morning, catching them on the worms there, on the Bluegill and stuff. So it's been a productive trip. I'm going home happy, but it is time, y'all. I'm going home. I'll see you in the next one.